December 14th,
Yep.
2017. Call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, I don't think anything's changed. We're gonna do the bids and contracts. That's a 3:30. Good, we're gonna do that. So we'll go right back to the in-house budget discussions. Where do we want to start?
Law enforcement.
Yeah.
So they gave, you got their handout? Just wanna
Somewhere.
walk through some of those.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So the first one was inmate commissary, they wanted to increase that revenue. I don't know. Without seeing any revenue from those new vending machines yet, I've currently doubled their revenue in there.
You did double the revenue
I did.
already?
Yeah, so it was 13,017 and I went to 24, so almost double. So that was to account for the 12 to the 24%. But
Okay.
I did not add anything for the vending machines. Their projection was 39, but not knowing or having any history. That is an amount that they get to carry forward in their inmate security biometric line. So even if they do bring in more revenue, they'll get to carry it forward in the next year.
Okay, so it doesn't
Well,
affect their, I mean, they don't need that revenue to offset something else, or?
Well, I guess that depends on if there's something else that they've asked for. Right now, their budget is balanced. So if we add something else, we may need additional revenue to offset it.
I actually increased the sales tax, so it's to the good 30,000 right now. That doesn't mean carry forward.
I know that Greg Kent said they were installed like last week or the week before, that they were finally all installed, but
Yeah, because he had to add more electric.
Oh, there's more inmate commissary than just inmate.
yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
I was thinking,
They get a percentage on all the sales and their percentage increased also. So the next one was repairs in 701. And they said that that's mainly to switching vendors this year. They had 25,000 in 17.
he's saying it's okay to leave it the same.
Yeah.
He was okay with what we took.
Well, he's
Well, yeah, but he said
saying
he-
that he's gonna
yeah.
come back and ask for more,
Yeah.
so let's talk about it.
We could be coming back.
Right. So 25,000, we went to 28. When did we switch to, was it July? We switched? August?
We switched what?
Vendors for their repairs.
Yeah, or later. When did Rollins close his doors? I don't
So
know.
pull up the activity and repairs. So there.
You see on site?
Well, they used Donnie Braun in between until they got the bid done, I think.
Yeah,
And then it went to Big O.
I mean, they asked for 30 and you gave them 28, so.
Yeah, you're right, around July. Or August.
So, are you guys good with that one?
Mm-hmm.
That was, I could look at.
Training, they wanted 15,000. That was to send people to get post-certified.
No. Just one. It's kind of like a scholarship.
Right, it's kind of the same thing that EMS was asking.
Yeah, we
for
cut
with
that out,
paramedics.
so I think we,
Jeff?
Well, they both said no already, so we'll keep moving.
Sam
What
say
do we
no?
do?
I said-
What do we do on
Okay.
repairs?
I said, if, you know, we
I
cut.
thought you were being wishy-washy,
No, we
Sam.
cut it out of the EMS, so.
What do we do on
Did you
repairs?
wanna add
Goodness, look at this
some
guy.
for
Oh,
repairs?
I figured.
I
wow.
didn't hear what we.
Boy, look at him, he's, whoo.
Look at that.
We brought donuts too. And there's a message on the donuts.
Oh, shit.
Just say
All the donuts
arsenic
are on
or
the
what?
box.
On the box.
Like, I'm not sure when
Really
you eat
good.
the donuts if there's things written on
It's for
them.
hungry, not angry.
Okay.
You want me to have the whole box is what you say? What do we do on repairs?
We
We
left
didn't
it,
add anything currently.
No.
Did you want to?
I didn't hear what we did. We just, somebody said 25, 28, 30, up, down, in between, and then never what we did.
Well, so 25 was what it was at 17, 30
What do we
they
do
asked
with
one?
for.
Yeah.
I heard all of that. What do we leave it at? What do y'all decide?
I'm good with what Kristen put in there.
No, we're talking about what we just did.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We've kicked around several numbers. I didn't hear what we did before we moved on to training fund.
They had requested 30.
Yeah, I heard all that, but I didn't hear what we changed it to or what we're doing, if we're
We
leaving
didn't
it.
change anything.
Okay, I didn't hear that part. That's all I asked. It was like a yes, no question. So 28. All right. I'm just trying to follow here.
Uniforms. Increase 10,000.
So how come you need another $10,000 in uniforms?
If you look at the last time that we got an increase in our uniforms, it was 3 years ago, I think, and we've added several people since then. Last night, just for an example, last night, one of our guys were involved in a foot pursuit, ended up messing up a pair of pants. So that's the kind of stuff that happens on a regular basis for us. It's not just a normal wear and tear that you have to worry about.
16,27,7 this year so far, 20. Anticipated, projected is 27.
The problem with, the problem with this year is the mess up on the bid process with 511 and their questionable business ethics. So we dropped 511 uniforms altogether. We've been, the staff likes them. They're not bad price, but we never can get them. And then every time we go out to bid, 511 steps in and says we can't buy it from them. So what they're telling us is that we have to buy it from a different vendor who is, it's more expensive. So I'm just not dealing with 511 anymore. We're actually going to go to Leon's in St. Louis. We're looking at illegal uniforms. A lot of the St. Louis County use it. St. Louis PD uses it, so it's readily available. It's a state contract. It will be a little more expensive. If you go item for item, it'll even itself out. And they should be, they're supposed to be, from what everybody I've talked to, they're a lot more durable uniforms. And they're wash and wear.
Okay, what do you guys want to do?
So this new company, basically, it's, color and everything else is the same, so we're not gonna look like we've got
No.
two different uniforms.
The shades, the shirts are just slightly different, but it's
Okay.
not enough that I'm gonna worry about.
Okay,
And we're not gonna go out and buy all new uniforms. here.
Okay, well, that's good.
It'll be a, no, it'll
okay,
be
okay, well, that's, I just,
So like, we're still in the middle of a contract, or looking at what kind of pants, we have a uniform committee now, and they're looking at, because I want buy-in from the staff on what they want. And they're happy with the Ovicos, but there's a uniform without the pockets, and that's people are concerned about that, because they've had pockets on the side of their pants for the last 12 years, so. But these that we're looking at will not. Well, right now. So if everything worked like it's supposed to, whenever they reported this guy last night with his pants getting ripped, we'd be able to just call Leon's and order another pair for him. And then they would be in about 3 days, because whenever we do this contract, they're gonna send a representative down and he will measure everybody, so he'll have accurate measurements from everybody.
You want to go through these line by line? You want to look at expenditures over revenues, or revenues over expenditures, or what do you want to do, Jeff?
Well, if we're adding 10,000 there, where are we taking it from? Because if it's gonna go up somewhere, we gotta go down somewhere.
Actually, we gave you a black budget.
So then we got basic contingency would just reduce.
No, our budget, the one we gave Kristen was an even budget. Now, she took out the salary line, we were upside down how much? So, I have it
Well,
on-
both of them were balanced though, right?
Yes.
When you did your changes and you did yours, they were both balanced, so if you reduced it there, you added it somewhere else, so we can take it away from,
Well, what it was the, she took it away, but then she added to the administrative fees. So.
And that isn't the only place that changed, but
Well,
yes,
no,
we changed the
you're right, I
administrative
apologize,
fee.
but the administrative fees was one of them, so. But, and if we're, I mean, prioritize, but priority-wise, what are you guys looking at wanting to, are you wanting to just leave that at the price it is? Because I can live with that. The stuff that I think that we need to talk about, the stuff that, I mean, the uniforms is gonna be an issue if we don't get to 10 grand, and it's gonna be an issue, but we can make it work. But the stuff like the patrol part-time for 26-2, that's saving us overtime. And it's also putting coverage on the street that we don't have. And it's not additional because we already have it. And then the cell stipend for the road deputies. Yesterday, I was going to lunch, I had to take care of some paperwork for my daughter, and that's when this foot pursuit kicked up, and I actually went out to the scene with them. But while we were there, we had one deputy that was out answering calls, and 3 of those calls were by phone. And that's where the cell stipend for the road deputies, that's $4,600. The clothing stipend for transports, it's only $900. It's $25 a person. And the reason why we need that is because these guys have to be in a suit whenever they go into these trials. Because if they're in a uniform, then they say, I don't believe it, but they say that it looks like the subject is guilty. So they have to be in a suit. And we're not paying them anything. They're having to go out and buy a suit. So that's why I want the $900. And the reason why I want the stipend is, instead of letting them go out and buy a suit and then me paying for it, well then if they quit or if they leave, then I gotta come up with the money for another suit. Versus if I just give them $25 a pay period and then they, if they leave, they just lose that stipend. The jail division salary line, $2,400. That position started out as a single position. It's now got 3 people in it. The span of control is an issue. It's only a $2,400 increase for this. Sergeants and the corporal pay, we've already talked about that, to try to fix the sergeant and corporal pay because of the compression is $25,000. So there's several things that I can, I can live with, but the uniforms, if you're saying that we don't have 10 grand, okay. Maybe I'll put the jail staff, they were talking about going in different uniforms, maybe I'll put them in different uniforms. The training fund, 15 grand, if you don't want to do that. It was an idea that we had, actually I copied off of Gary, because we're just trying to entice people to be able to come and work here and stay here. And then the repairs, of course, we're leaving alone.
So let's talk about this patrol part-time just a little bit.
Okay.
So obviously, this was put into place to help with vacant positions in the patrol division.
Yes.
So that's something that you did, correct?
Well, we came and talked to you all about it before we did it, but yes.
And did we agree to add more money for that?
No, you did not, because we thought it was gonna be a temporary thing. To be quite honest,
Right.
when Lieutenant Snow came up with the idea, I didn't think it would go anywhere, because I didn't think anybody would want to come and work part-time on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got 3.
So, I mean, obviously, I like using part-time. I mean, I think that's a good idea if you can find good quality people to do it. I mean, what are you gonna do when you have your military people or whatever come back? Or, I mean, I assume that's what's going on here a little bit. So, I mean, are you gonna continue this and still?
I'd like to. Like I said, it gives us better coverage on the road. It reduces the overtime. So we won't know that, how much for sure, until we get actually 4 people in place to do it. But with the 2, I mean, I gave you the numbers, I don't have them with me now, but once I put it on there, yeah.
So is this increasing the amount of deputies that we have on the weekends on patrol?
Yes. Well, it increases and it offsets, because there's 2 different things. So sometimes on the weekends, if someone is sick or someone is on vacation, instead of calling somebody in and having to work overtime, we know we have a part-time there working.
And is this mainly evening time or peak times or?
I don't know what the time
It
is.
varies. It does vary from day shift, depending on the actual status, like he was getting at. If we're shorthanded, then Lieutenant Stellar would put them on the days. But if we're not, then it's usually typically during the peak times, like your 4 to midnight area.
Okay. Are they mainly working out in the communities outside of Jefferson City, or is that where they're patrolling? I mean,
Yes.
so you anticipate that this is, you need $26,000 to keep that program going?
Yes.
Currently, we had 2 administrative staff within patrol, and then they got like 4 part-time deputies to fill those military-type shifts and people that were off. And then now we got, that's in the budget, is some evidence techs to work part-time. And now you're talking about adding some more.
Yeah, well, the evidence tech's always been there. The evidence tech and the
There was
admin
2.
has been there. Now, the patrol deputies for the part-time monies, it's what we're asking for is the money. Because, I mean, truthfully, it's just like the part-time money that we have in the jail. You guys could care less how many people I have on part-time as long as we don't go over that amount. But our goal is 4 people. That way we would have 2 people working each weekend and they would work every other weekend.
And what increased to 21,000 or 2,000.
So if we increase your
You did that
part-time by 26,000, can we decrease your overtime by 26,000?
No. If you're trying to compare apples to apples. The 26,000 that you're spending there, that means you're not having to put an additional person on. We saved, what was it, $8,000 just since July. I think it was $8,000, I can't. No, it was 16. We used 16.5 for 984 hours. And that would have cost us, yeah, it was about $8,000, I think it was, that we saved just in the last 6 months.
How much have we transferred this year for those part-time?
Probably none, because we were using the salary from Justin Rollins.
From salary to.
So if they save us overtime though, then why do you need to keep your overtime?
Well, because the amount of money that you're saving isn't gonna equal to the amount of money that you're spending. But what you're getting out of it is you're getting more coverage on the street, and you're not burning out the staff as much, because some of the guys are able to take, and gals are able to take time off, because some of these people can't take off because there's not enough people working. It allows for training. There's several things that it does. If you don't want to do it, I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I can shut it down. But we're gonna lose a person on the weekends.
We're just in a pickle and a hard spot. I mean,
I completely understand.
you know, I mean, you gotta tell us what your priorities are. Do you wanna fix sergeant and lieutenant pay? Or do you wanna do these other programs? I mean, we can't do it all. And then this year, we're probably not gonna be able to do hardly anything. But as we go forward, I mean, we can't keep increasing expenditures and fix the pay for the people that we got. I mean, it doesn't work. There's not enough money to do it.
Okay, well, I mean, the cell phones, I think, and the transports, and the jail salary for the financial supervisor, I think those are very important, and we need to do them.
And those are small ticket
Yes,
items.
they
and-
are. So the two that you're talking about is either the part-time or fixed sergeant corporal pay.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure that we're gonna be able to fix sergeant and corporal pay, but, so, if we continue this part-time program, which I think is probably a good thing, but at the same time, we keep doing that, it just keep increasing our costs, and we'll never get to fix sergeant and lieutenant pay, or compression, or all these other things that we're dealing with. I mean, it's not gonna happen.
Well, since you bring up salary, what's the plan? Have y'all thought about what we're gonna do about salaries? I know that I'm with you, I don't like salary surveys. But Kristen has done a pretty good job at putting some numbers together. I think we need to put a time frame on it and move forward with it. Because even if it comes up that we are 20%, all the Cole County employees are 20% underpaid, you're not gonna be able to fix that. It's not gonna happen. Not in 1 year, but maybe over a 3 or 4 year period with steps, you might be able to do something. But we're never gonna get there if we don't put some time limits on it and start moving forward. We talked about this very same thing last year, but, and I know it's aggravating to you guys, but every time that we choose not to deal with it, we kick that can further down and it gets bigger and it gets harder. So I understand about the sergeant's corporal pay. I would say I would rather have that than I would the part-time. And the reason being is I have people leaving. And if I don't have staff, it doesn't do any good if I have part-time monies anyway. And then we'll just have to explain to Russellville and whoever else that we just don't have that many people on the road, and we're just not gonna be able to put that many out just yet.
I mean, just as we continue to go through budget stuff, the biggest thing that we have is, And the only place that we can really find money to fix things is in salaries. And I mean, so, you know, unless all departments, not just you, but all departments, we can decrease the amount of employees we got and be more efficient. I mean, that's the biggest place to find more money. I mean, it's not in the expenditures because we could nickel and dime you for a couple $100 here, or $1,000 there, but it ain't gonna fix it. I mean, we need hundreds of thousands of dollars just in your department. I mean, millions of dollars countywide. And so, you know, everybody's coming to us with the same problem, and I get it. I mean, we're underpaid.
Well,
But
reducing the amount of people I have is not an option at all. I'm being serious. We are doing the very best that we can in the jail. We're doing the very best we can in the patrol division. You all know, you've been hearing the complaints, you've been to the meetings. People want to see us more out in the county. Now, we're trying to alleviate that with technology, which is a manpower multiplier. And so we're trying to use some technology to help with some of that. But when it comes right down to it, truthfully, I don't have enough staff for now to do what I need to do. So for me, I don't know about anybody else, I can't say about anybody else, but for me, reducement of staff is not an option. And I think it would be very unsafe for our community for us to reduce the amount.
I mean, I don't disagree with you. I just,
Do you see the money from civil fees going back up?
I do.
I mean,
I think
You saw-
we are currently working with MAC and some of our legislative friends on trying to put and there's one out there now, it's a bill that's gonna put the fee on top of or in front of the civil documents when we serve. And right now, we have a lot of private servers that are going out, and whenever a private server comes up, we don't get that money. But the problem is, not so much for me, but the other 114 counties, they are responsible for their courthouse. So whenever people show up with they get served a subpoena and they're showing up to the courthouse, they're not giving any money to the sheriff to provide security for the courthouse. So it will, I think it's gonna greatly enhance the amount of money that we get.
I think that's part of the problem we're seeing countywide is, like, they're specifically, your fees are down about $170,000 over last year. And we're seeing that countywide, so we're trying to make up for that reduction in fees
Sure.
everywhere else.
Sure, without a doubt. Hard decisions you guys gotta make, without a doubt. And I can't, I'm not sitting in your shoes, nor would I wanna put more pressure on you. But when I bring something to you, it's not because I want it, it's because I need it. Now, if you're saying that I have to do without on some of this stuff, I'm a good soldier, I'll go and do with what I
Sure.
have with what I have.
right.
But there comes a point in time whenever we have to start. I know, looking at the big picture, from my big picture, not from yours, because you have a bigger picture that you're looking at. But I have to do what's right for the department, and right now, two of the biggest issues that I have is coverage on the road and retention and trying to get people to come work here. And fixing the sergeant and the corporal monies would help with retaining people. And then with the part-time money that I'm asking for, it's going to be able to enhance our ability to go out and patrol the roads. So, and you're exactly right, Chris, this was not something, I didn't think this program would go fast. Well, number one, the corporal that was on military leave extended his orders, so he's not gonna come back till April. So, that was, I thought it would be over when that happened. And truthfully, I didn't think Lieutenant Sneller would be able to get, and Captain Bowling would be able to find people that would want to work every other weekend. But they have. So, with all due diligence, that when they bring me this information and I see the numbers, then it's behooves me to bring it to you guys and let you know that it's a program that's working. And part-time is better than full-time.
If we wanted to implement both of those, is there anywhere any capital requests we could delay, or anywhere in the budget we could save a little money to add it to there instead?
We were looking at that.
Debbie up there, do you got
So
the
switch or just-
cash forward
Oh,
and
yeah.
contingency
We actually
taken
were
out?
looking at this, and I don't see anything to reduce. I mean, some of this stuff wasn't me. The backup ARC server, that was Brian. The CNC group update, I don't even know what that is. That was Greg Camp. The computers, we don't have a choice with. I mean, we don't, the $25,000 to upgrade the Brinks truck, we don't have to do that, and the truck can sit for another year.
What's that say? 20?
The windows, we already talked about that, and if you want to talk further, we'd have to go into closed session for that.
30 to the good?
And the portable radios, if you want to reduce that, I mean, we can, but right now, we're asking to start replacing radios and start moving forward with radios. If you want us to cut that one, we can, but that means that the next time one of them breaks, then we have to buy a radio. And they're $5,500 a piece, roughly. So the vehicles, we can't do none of the vehicles. So if you were gonna cut anything, I'd say the portable radios
Well, the Brinks truck,
and the Brinks truck.
I mean, we've asked everybody, we went, with Public Works, Larry said, well, yeah, we can cut, but service, it's gonna suffer. You're saying the same thing. It's like,
The Brinks truck,
Yeah.
it has to be, it has to be up armored, and you can't just
Yeah.
put metal in it. You
No.
can't weld it, because
No.
welding takes away from the ballistic integrity. So it has to be a specific company that has to come in and do this. And truthfully, I don't know how much that's gonna cost. I put 25 grand, and that's a whack. I have no idea. That may be 15,000, it could be 50,000, so. I
Sounds
just
like
don't know.
maybe less than that. We had somebody from the look at it, but they haven't been on paper.
The weight room, I think we stay with that, because like I said, that's trying to get our people more healthy and hopefully saving workers' comp later on. So if you want to cut the Brinks truck and the radios, that's 50 grand. But that means we hang on to the Peacekeeper and the MRAP that much longer.
You get out of there, Debbie, and go look at the civil fees, see what Kristen was talking about. Where
It's
we
not
at?
just one line, it's that group of,
Multiple lines?
yeah,
All those there?
yep. So civil supplementation is in and out, so you'll see that in and out, but those general execution and civil fees are both down. Sequestration is as
So
well.
is there just some type of delay in the payment on those, John, or?
No, it's just a reduction in us serving. They're, like I said, the private servers are out there and they're charging more than what we would. But the lawyers are paying them versus letting us do it for them. And that's why we're trying to go to legislators and say, okay, then put it on the front. Because we still have to deal with all the paperwork. We still have to deal with all the paperwork. So if we can get the legislators to put the fees on the front end, then it doesn't matter who serves it, we still get our money out of it. CCW is another one that you'll see. I think you're going to start seeing that increase. There's a federal bill right now saying that they're going to force all the states to recognize CCWs, each other's CCWs. It's got a lot of momentum on it. I'm not sure if it'll pass or not, but if it does, then our CCW will go back up again. Because constitutional carry that's not going to be one of them. So, and then there'll be some changes to CCW, I'm sure. But I see those funds going back up again too.
So here's what we're looking at in the commission approved up there. So looking at revenue over expenditures, and you got $30,000 there.
We're short 30,000?
No, you
You're
gotta
ahead.
serve,
So
you're
we
ahead
have updated
$30,000.
Sales tax.
Sales tax. So you're saying priority 1, 2, and 3 would be the stipends and the jail division salary?
Did you increase the commissary to 15,000? To the, well, there's another 15 grand. There's 45,000.
Well, it's 15 grand that you're projecting. I mean, you think there's gonna be another 15 grand, right?
No, I know there will. At least. Do the numbers. I mean, you can see the numbers. It's gonna be more. We went from 12% to 24% commissary. That's gonna double our commissary. It's gonna double our commission.
Well, she doubled it.
Well, then add in the vending machines and the meals. I think we'll hit 15 grand pretty easy.
Have we seen any revenue from either of those yet?
The vending machines, we just now got the power and the cable for it too. That was an ordeal all by itself, but we just now got those hooked up. The increase in commissary, I'm sure we do, I'm sure we will, or we have.
Well, I mean, we have the change in the percentage in there, but we haven't seen any revenue from the machines or anything.
No, they
So
haven't
we
been, I
don't
don't
really
think they're turned
know.
on right now.
Yeah, I don't think they've been totally implemented, just like they put the hardware stuff in, and it's not been implemented to my knowledge, but I know it just, what they put in the power last week.
They just got the power and the cables ran. Well, they got the cables ran to the power, they haven't, I can't remember what Brian called it, it was an official thing, but they haven't terminated the cables yet to make sure that there's internet going to the machines.
So I guess I don't have any history to project what that revenue is. I mean, are they gonna use the vending machines more than they use the regular commissary, so are you gonna see it offset some?
No, they're gonna end up, I think you'll see an increase in I don't think you'll see a decrease at all in commissary, because the problem with commissary is you order it and you have to wait for it to come in. And you're gonna have some new
Okay.
people coming in. They'll have some new people coming in that's gonna be
How do I get to?
implemented
Up there.
right then, because they won't be able to order commissary for 2 or 3 days, so they'll want candy bar or whatever.
Is there,
And so I think you'll see the increase from that.
that's the only
You're not
one I
gonna see a
need to take the
decrease in
exact same.
commissary.
Okay.
You're not gonna be able to get everything.
Damn it, I wasn't
You know,
there.
there's only gonna be selected items. that
Thought I
they
had
have,
that one.
Right.
so.
Thanks.
I guess that's my biggest concern, is we don't have anything to kind of project what that revenue from those machines is gonna be.
So there's soda machine too?
I don't know, I don't think there's soda in it.
No
We don't
soda?
give them caffeinated. Well, no, we do give caffeinated, or they can order caffeinated, we don't give them soda. But I don't think there's sodas in it, I think there's just candy bars and stuff
Okay.
like that, but I really don't know the answer to that. Do you?
I don't think we did, I think we decided not to due to the safety concerns of the
Cans?
and bottles.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, so we could adjust the revenue for that, but to me, when we get to this bottom number, this 30,000, I mean, I don't want to pick and choose. I mean, I just throw it back at them and say, here's 30 grand, get what you can, or whatever that number is. I mean, you know, we can nitpick everything to death, but
I think you have to pick on the salary part of that stuff. If you want to be consistent across the board.
What's that?
Salary part.
well, I get that. I
The
mean,
corporal sergeants, part-times.
Information on the cell phones, as far as currently, there's, if you added those 13, it'd be 48 out of the 89 would have cell phones in that department. That's about 85% of their people. The only other closest department would be Public Works at 38%. So just give you some little about that.
84% of the whole department?
Yes, 85 of the whole department would be getting a stipend for that.
I don't think that's right.
Wait a minute, you said 46 of 85?
I have 110 employees.
Full-time.
Oh, just full-time.
I mean, I wouldn't think
So how
we'd
many
give
would
that
it be for
stipend.
110 employees?
I don't think you can really look at percentage of the employees that have it. I think you gotta look at each, what they're doing.
Okay.
Because, I mean, Public Works, what are they gonna use it for? They've got their truck radios if they need to communicate with each other. It's a little different than if you're on patrol
Radios.
and you need a cell phone.
Radios.
Yeah, but we don't, we have to call the citizens at their house, and we could have them patches through the radios, but it would hold up the radio for everybody else, and it would be broadcasted over all of the county.
No, I was arguing for you.
I understand, no, I was telling her, that's what, no, I'm with
Okay.
you, Jeff, I understand exactly what you're saying.
That's
I thought
fine.
maybe
I was
I-
just giving you some statistics.
So are
Right now,
we,
35 employees that get a cell phone stipend, we're asking to 13 more, so it'd be 48 people having a cell phone stipend for our 600 fund.
Oh, we cut out the Brinks truck.
Well, right now, if you do so we only have 48 people that's on school.
Right now,
35, okay.
Right?
Yep. Plus 13 is what I'm,
13, so it'd
Yeah.
be 48 people.
So-
and they're all full-time.
Yes, those are all full-time.
I mean, if it's part of the job, it's part of the job. They gotta have it. It's
Yeah,
a tool. It's just like
it's-
a gun.
I mean,
Go out there without a cell
Departments
phone and without a
be
gun.
coming.
All right, we'll save a lot of money. That one there, then,
So are you,
the cell phone stipend to me, I think it makes sense. Now,
Okay.
where's it gonna come from?
So.
You all got 30,000 in it right now, so then that
So
takes
we
away
have
from that.
30,000, so if you add the fix, the salaries, the cell phones, the suits, and the jail salary, I roughly come up with 32,980. If we bump off the Brinks truck, that gives me an additional 25 grand there. So right now I have $55,000, right? The 25 grand for the Brinks truck and it's 30 grand. So that means out of that 55, I spend 32,980 out of that, and I can still.
Kind of.
Sir?
The Brinks truck is a one-time expenditure. The salaries and stuff will be recurring, so
That's right.
it's the same but different. I mean, you do have the money, but you don't have it.
So the salary and the part-timer, is that both out of the picture?
Now, we just gotta look at it differently.
Right.
On the revenue part, the inmate commissary, I see where you're coming from, but, a bird in the hand
Oh, no,
is better than two in the bush, and I don't know about the two in the bush at this point,
I understand.
Well, it'd be
I hate to
nice
be
if it would
too-
actually top what you're talking about, but we need to see. It's, we're kind of betting on the come, and that's,
Well, I have a plan to be able to do that, so, because we can take one of those vending machines and put it in the jail break room for our staff to use, and we can put them down over in the basement, and then our staff can take advantage of the low price too. But, so 32,980.
so we want to make some decisions on these, so
I was gonna say, are you guys good with the cell phone stipends?
I am.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I kind of am agreeing with Jeff a lot lately. That's really,
The
we can
clothing
fix that.
stipend?
I mean, I'm okay with the clothing stipend, $900.
You guys? Yep.
I hate clothing stipends.
So I will
In
say,
general, not just this one.
I understand.
in the past, we did do like a clothing allowance. And,
a long time.
yeah, a long time ago, and
We've got them in other departments, I just hate them.
this does make more sense to do it this way, only because you're not paying for that cost, and then if they leave, you're out.
I gotta pay for my clothes to do my jobs. I don't get stipends for them. I don't get my employees stipends, and they get their clothes tore up and stuff all the time too. So I just don't like them.
I understand.
I'm not gonna argue over this $900. We do them. That's okay. Let's move on.
So you're good?
Yeah. I'm just gonna bitch about it for a minute.
It's fine. Beat him up a little bit.
It's not just this one. I mean, we got boot stipends
I
and
know.
stuff too.
I
and
know, so you're gonna have to.
Okay.
I don't know, I'll just.
Jail division, jail financial supervisor.
All of the cell phones will go.
That's $2,400.
So the next one on your list that you wanted to add was the jail
Yeah.
division salary?
Yes. And then the salary today. Just kidding.
This is basically just taking somebody to a supervisor position and increasing their pay by $2,400.
Yeah.
So there'd be benefits on top of that. Correct?
Yes.
So what are they doing now? Who supervises it now?
Tim Harlan does. He supervises them. as
He
well.
supervises the three.
Them.
So you have somebody supervising those three right now, but you're wanting to take one of those and make them supervise the other two?
Yeah, but let me finish it. Tim supervises those three in there, plus all of the transports. He's at the transport team
Yeah.
also, as well as running the whole jail.
Yep. I understand where you're going with it. I mean, what's the benefit of having that supervisor in there?
The evaluations. So right now, when Tim has to write an evaluation for those three, he has to go sit down with her and ask what they're doing and how they're doing. Because there's no way he can sit in there 5 days a week and watch what they do.
13.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that is the salary.
And
line
over
is
in
what I have,
transports,
right?
they have a
Yeah.
supervisor. So he doesn't have to get as involved whenever you have a supervisor involved.
So that and social security.
This person is actually trained both of these.
Don't put those cents in there.
She's
Don't
the
round it up.
FTO. Anybody that's come to that position, there's been several divisions.
I think for next year.
Where's what else we got
Oh, yeah,
besides that
so-
one? I'm on the fence on that one. I mean, on one hand, I'll argue for it and say, okay, if they're actually supervising, they have additional duties, they should get more pay. But on the other hand, do you need a supervisor in there is
Yes.
the other argument.
Well, it's-
Yeah, I heard you say yes.
Well, and the reason why I say yes is remember, when we had one person in there, we had a lot of money disappear. Since we put these three in there and put the guidelines and stipulations and protocols in there, since Debbie's taken over, we haven't.
There should be checks and balances in place to cover that anyway, but.
There is,
All
but
right,
before,
so-
when it was only two people, the lieutenant and that one person, it was just too much for one person to take care of. That's why you guys gave me the other two
There, it's
positions.
there, put it in that line.
And like I said, we do have safeties, we do have protocols in place now, but, you know, you have to have somebody in there to make sure it's running the same way all the time.
Social security.
I'm still on the fence on that one. I don't know if y'all, which way y'all are leaning on that one right now.
So then the next thing that I heard you say is you'd like to fix the sergeant and the corporal pay.
Yes,
You got a plan for that, or?
yes. We're gonna change their, we're gonna change their starting pay. So not everyone will be affected, and I told the staff this whenever I took over, that I was gonna try to fix pay. But I also told them that when I fix pay, I'm not fixing it for people that's right now, but I'm fixing it for people in the future. Yeah, but this doesn't have what it was before. So what this does basically too is it allows us to pay individuals for their post-certification, which benefits me greatly. So we have corporals right now that aren't post-certified, right? They're not cops. But they're doing a good job, but those individuals that went to those 600 hours and are taking on a little more liability, we should be able to pay them a little more, and that's the $1,200 that we gave them. So the difference in the corporal and the corporal post position, the sergeant post position. Again, not everybody would be affected by this, if you remember. I'll let her answer this one.
So this just basically fixes just a small minute portion of the issues that you got and doesn't really fix all the other issues that you have with pay.
No, it doesn't fix everything, but it begins to fix the compression issue that I have with pay.
How many people would this affect?
I want to count.
Well, 12?
Well,
Okay.
That's 21,394. So the amount that we put on here for the 25,000 includes the benefits.
Okay.
Nice job, bud. It's very good job, bud.
Are you seeing difficulties in hiring and retaining your people?
Yes. When we do a hiring process, we'll get 4 people, 5 people. When we, specifically when we go for post-certified. And as far as retaining, we've lost to Columbia, we've lost to JCPD. Now, in return, I go and steal from other communities around me, but, I mean, but we're still, I mean, we're always, I think, right now with the 5 that we have sitting in pretrial, in pre-employment, we have, that should bring us up to full staff in the jail, right? That'll be if everyone stays until we get these guys on board, that'll be the first time we've been at full staff, I think. Well, I know this year, and I don't know when the last time we were at full staff.
We're running asthma paper all the time, that's why that increased. We did try to do a free online Indeed.com, and we got a couple, we got a lot put in, but we only got a couple that were actually,
Showed up to the test.
yeah.
So what about uniforms?
you know, if we could cut that out and just see,
You know what we can do? Let's just, we can take that 10 grand out, and if I end up needing more money, I'll
Yeah.
come to you.
I'd just soon, well,
That's fair.
It's fair.
It wasn't in there, though. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'd like to give you a budget that you can live with and not have to come back.
yeah.
That's possible too.
So we added in the stipends, we're to 23,646.
But we haven't taken out the Brinks truck out of his capital yet either, have we?
No.
Nope.
Yeah.
That's where I'm just trying to rob Peter to pay Paul.
Depending on where you put it, too. It's not really an even swap there.
Well, right, I mean, the uniforms would be ongoing expense where the Brinks truck should be a one-time expense, but anyway.
That's the thing you have to remember about changes to salaries is they're ongoing and they compound. So if
Mhm.
we give a raise in the next year, it increases the whole thing. So, we like the one-time costs because we know if it's not gonna be there next year and you can spend it on something else, whereas the salary is not gonna go away.
In 2016, we did add 1 million to contingency, and so far we will be adding 1 million to contingency this year. So we are doing really good on bringing more money in than we're spending each year.
That is the federal prisoner,
Hmm?
for federal prisoner money.
Well, it's federal and also the Department of Mental Health money.
And maybe a
But don't
little
you
bit of
think
the
some that's
pretrial
because
release.
you haven't been fully staffed? So I think.
But not,
Well,
we
if you're
were
not fully staffed,
in
you're still
all
having to work.
departments the whole year.
it would be $1 million.
Right. it
Then
would
you're
be
using
anywhere
more
close.
overtime.
No, but it wouldn't be, I mean, it'd still be a substantial amount of money. I mean, let's just say $400,000, we're
Right.
still $600,000 that we're
Right,
putting in.
right,
so.
yeah, but I think you have to, I would say that that number's a little high just because you have had so much turnover and so much time of
We already
unfilled.
have $75,000 from the jail left over in salaries this year due to not having,
Yeah,
but that's our biggest one.
Okay, well, we can sit here all day in silence, or we can make some decisions.
Yeah.
And I don't have all day. I'm leaving at
No.
12.
So we're
We
fixing
can do it more next week.
Sergeant corporal pay, jail division salary line.
You can, but, I mean,
Well,
I was waiting to hear what the presiding said.
and then I still, the part-time.
Was that
So
yes or no?
That's a yes for are those, just, that's what we need,
Do you-
You're saying
Yeah.
yes on the part-time?
yeah.
The,
If I have to pick between the two, I want them both. But if I have to pick between the two, I'd rather fix the sergeant's pay.
it's Christmas list here. You've been naughty or nice. My thing with the patrol part-time, I guess when we were talking about, it, I still don't understand that. If we had part-time and it was helping fix some of the vacant positions that we weren't paying out, so we transferred that money from salary line, right?
Right.
Okay, so we should be able to reduce salary line.
those people were on military leave or something, so they're still, those positions are still there. It's just they weren't currently there during the year. So those positions did not go away.
They
Right.
use part-time people to fill the shifts.
To fill the ones that aren't there, which their salaries
Well,
came out of the salary line essentially to help fill it. So whenever these people come back, say in April, I think you said one of them was, when it comes back, you're gonna have less need for the part-timers?
no, it's still, like I said, whenever they came up with this program, it was strictly until these guys came back from military leave. I was all for that. Because of two reasons. One is we could use the help out on the road for especially for the staff. But the other thing was because it gave us coverage and it was revenue neutral. Well then, and I didn't think, and again, I'll go back and say it again, I didn't think Sneller would find people to actually do part-time cop work on the weekends, every other weekend. And he went out and found them. So, and then when they showed me the numbers, because I'm a quantitative guy, they showed me the numbers and it's working. It's offsetting some of the work out on the roads during the weekend. People can take off, so it makes for a more healthy environment for the staff. And it saves me a little bit of overtime. You want to cut some of the overtime, a little bit of overtime, I'm okay with that. But just remember, I can't dictate what happens. And I know, I didn't say this once, or Greg didn't say it once, and it was thrown in our face. So if an incident, a big incident comes up, I can't control that. So God forbid a tornado or a homicide, it's gonna cost overtime. There's just no way around it.
and that we can predict those unforeseen expenses.
No,
but,
sir, you cannot. And that's why I'm bringing it up, just to make sure.
Right.
Because I don't want to come up here and ask for overtime sometime and you guys, well, you didn't say nothing about this.
Well, but we also approved going to 12-hour shifts in the jail, and
That's right.
seen some savings, but really not enough to offset.
Well, hopefully when we get back to full staff, we'll be able to show you some more of those savings. But we got to get back to full staff because
How many are you short right now?
if all of the ones that we just hired stays, then we should be at full staff in the jail.
You said it was around
Still
four,
got 4 part-time.
4 open right now or
I
something.
said, we need savings and we need to get our fees up.
Yeah.
And then everything's,
Hopefully we can, between us and MAC and some other entities that are stepping in, hopefully we can get that done.
but I like having officers. There's some of these small counties around us whose budgets are nothing. They have nobody they're on call, but they have no, the county's not covered at all at night. And I'm like, my God.
So do some of these part-time people on patrol, do they do Russellville or St. Martin's or some of that?
Whenever they come on, they're a deputy. So, we try to tell all of them to try to go out into the county as much as they can in the small towns, be seen. But if they get a call that's, if they're on their way to Russellville and they get a call to Westview, then they go to Westview. The
Right.
reserves is what helps me there. The reserves, when they come on, then then I can take those guys and say, go sit in Russellville and stay there, or go to Lowman, or go to,
So who's in Russellville for the contract with them that we're getting paid on?
it's a sign up that the patrol division signs up for. And so it's gonna go good right now before Christmas. What I'm afraid of is when Christmas is over with, it'll start dropping down. Because the guys are,
They need-
I keep saying the guys, the staff are, they're burnt out, put a lot of hours in.
So when they're assigned to Russellville and we're getting paid for that, they stay there?
When they sign up for the Russellville overtime project grant, then they go over and they stay there. We've made some substantial arrests out there too from that. Three of the guys that we were looking at from over there are now all three in custody. So, one of them, Montauk County got, but that's all right, catch is a catch.
So how long is your one staff gonna be on military leave?
He says April,
Okay,
but he
so
can extend it.
4th of the year or whatever?
He can extend it and stay there for 5 years. And I have to hold the position. Well, I don't have to hold the position for him. I have to give him a position when he comes back. We have currently backfilled that position. So we're hoping, well, it's not really gonna backfill because he's a rookie, so rookies don't count. They don't even count as people.
Your people listening?
They are. They know it. They don't count.
Okay.
Until
Let
after
you say that, not
Until
us.
after 17 weeks, they don't count. They gotta go through the FTO program.
I guess I don't know if it's not simple enough for me yet or what, but the part-time should be saving us money somewhere.
It is.
So then we need to take it out of that line.
If you look at well, I don't know if you still have it, but they did
That's what I had
984 hours.
No, save overtime.
They did 984 hours last year, which was approximately
That was-
$16,000.
Okay, then that's where we need to take it from. Are you understanding the same way I am?
Yeah.
You're saying money in, money out, and it's not gonna work. It's gonna offset the cost. It's not gonna pay for everything. So you can't pay $26,000 for the part-time money and take $26,000 out of overtime.
Should be able to take 30 out of overtime.
Well,
So what,
I'm not-
approximately, what will it save us in overtime?
well, $8,000 is what it saved us in 6 months. So, so if you wanna, if you're gonna talk about decreasing, I'm really hesitant to decrease overtime at all, because I'll end up being back up here asking for overtime money. So,
If you bring us donuts, we don't mind.
That was Sam Bushman. Donuts are empty calories.
A lot of donuts from different.
I think we would have had to come to the end of the year with a transfer into overtime due to the military personnel being gone. And so it saved us from having to come to you asking for money from contingency into overtime, where we just took it from salary and moved it to part-time. So that's where it saved us the money. We didn't have to come pull it from contingency.
While they are gone on military time, we can still pull it from salary. But when he comes back in April, if he comes back, I'm just gonna assume he's coming back in April, he or she. When they come back in April, then you're gonna have that money coming out of salary and you're still gonna have the part-timers, so I understand what you just said. That makes more sense that if you had to fill a position that was actually being paid out, it would have cost overtime to do.
And I get where you
I
guys
think I
are
just
saying.
said that
So
right.
if,
Might confuse myself.
if it's, like I said, as far as the part-time goes, if it's that difficult to come up with that decision, I would say let's just take it off there and just work on the sergeants and corporals. And
I'm just not looking at increasing anything,
I understand,
so.
I understand, but if I have to
I'm
fix
stuck
one or
on
the
that one
other-
right now. We can go to a different one and come back to that one last and see where we're at with the rest of it.
If we gotta fix one or
Whatever
the
the
other,
pleasure
I would
is.
rather fix the corporal and sergeant's pay, the compression. The part-time money saves us a great deal for staff. It saves us some in overtime. It saves us a great deal in being able to fill a schedule out. But I am not gonna be able to quantitatively tell you that one for dollar, you're gonna get exactly what you put into that. Because we are public safety. Public safety doesn't make money. We don't make money, and never will make money. That's just not the way public safety is.
Could the part-time patrol also be like a year thing and look at it again next year? I
Oh,
mean, like,
absolutely.
look to see what it saved you through the year, and if it's
Absolutely.
really saving us money, we keep doing it. If not, it's something that we decide next year maybe not to continue.
I'd even be willing to go 6 months and then come back and look at it.
So, I mean, at least with the part-time, you have a little bit of option. If it's something that's not really saving us money, we could decide not to continue that. The sergeant and corporal pay, on the other hand, is something that's going to be ongoing.
Well, it only fixes 12 positions, I mean,
Well-
that's a start.
You're
but-
fixing more than 12, you're fixing all of the sergeants and corporals' pay. You're only gonna affect 6 of them, or 12 of them. So what you're doing is you're putting everybody on a more level field.
It would start tomorrow.
Yeah. Because we still have an issue with longevity that we haven't, that's got to be addressed in the salary. My sergeant that's been here for 15 years shouldn't be making $1,000 more than a sergeant that starts today. And it's hypothetical, but I'm just saying.
Right.
That's our longevity issue.
So how did that happen with your $1,000 that you're talking about? I know that's not exact, but how did that come about then?
Well, one of the issues was for the past 12 years, the starting salaries were increased every year. So if you gave a 2% raise, you were
Right.
increasing it. Now, that's wrong. So there's a starting salary, and you keep them at that starting salary. So I froze that for us. So we're not doing that. Starting pay for us is $35,000 a year for a road deputy. Next year, it's gonna be $35,000 for a road deputy. If it gets to the point that we need to increase it, that's when I'll come to you guys and say, we need to increase our starting salary. But just increasing our starting salary every year, all you did was push up that much closer to the, because when you pushed up the 2% for the starting salary, you didn't push up the starting salary for the corporals or sergeants. You kept it the same. So now, whenever I would promote someone to corporal, they're within $1,000 of the, or not even, yeah, they're within $1,000 of corporal pay, or they're over it. So we have to, what this is doing, it's readjusting the salary lines.
Okay.
So you never adjusted your scale, basically, when we adjusted the pay? That's basically
So
what you're saying.
all the starting salaries moved up, right?
No.
Yes.
Okay. So we stopped the starting salary for the base starting salary, base pay, and that's gonna help out in the long run. Yeah, I don't think you keep increasing that. You don't increase your starting salary for sergeant, you don't increase your starting salary, you keep this, your
How do you-
salary and your cap should be the same.
How do you keep up with the cost of living if you don't adjust those?
You-
And you're not market?
You guys give us 1% and all the staff, I'm talking about the position, not the person.
Right, I am too.
Right, so when you come up and say 1% COLA raise, everybody gets 1% COLA raise.
Right.
So if
And the
sergeant-
grid moves by 1%.
What's that?
And the grid beginning salary moves by 1%.
And see, that's a mistake.
So somebody that's been here for 5 years gets the same pay as somebody that starts tomorrow.
Right,
Yeah, that's exactly wrong,
right.
so.
That's my whole thing.
Well,
That's
so I was trying to
why,
figure out how a corporal's making more than a
that's why,
sergeant.
that's why
What it is.
I have one corporal making, is it making more money than a sergeant? One corporal making more money than a sergeant. I've got,
What makes them a corporal or sergeant? I mean, is it a promotion?
Yes.
And a raise?
yes, they get a promotion and a raise. So what we tried, we came up with a number of what the starting pay of a corporal was back last year, 2 years ago. And so we would promote him to that, and I can't remember now, was it 38? Yeah, I think it was 38,000 was the starting, or 36,000, I think, I don't remember now. But anyway, this is what the start, we said all corporals are gonna start. Well, then we had the oral boards that have to come in and they have to test for it. You get so many points for being there, and then after you pass this, then you get promoted, then you would say, okay, now your starting salary is supposed to be this amount. But that person was already there. So I think countywide, the deal was if they were close to that line, you gave them a $2,000 pay raise. So, and what I'm saying is that where that hurts us is then you have somebody leaping ahead of somebody that's been there a long time. Jim Flessa has been here a long time, and his starting salary, his salary as a sergeant, I think is, well, what's his starting salary? Well, it doesn't matter. It's pretty, I mean, he's been here a long time, and he should have, there should be more
Well,
money.
just because someone's been here a long time doesn't mean they do a better job than somebody else.
If he got promoted to sergeant, he's doing a better job than somebody else, or else he wouldn't be promoted to sergeant.
Well, maybe there wasn't a sergeant position open for this one below them to get promoted. Maybe they are doing a better job. The longevity thing, there is something to be said about loyalty and working for you. So
Right.
I see some, that is valid to a certain point, but, you know, you can fill a seat and do a job, so. But I don't agree with somebody being here for 5 years making the same as somebody that starts tomorrow.
Well, and that's the other thing that we changed on to fix the corporal sergeant pay is those individuals that are post-certified and has went and got, and is post-certified through the state of Missouri, we gave them an extra $1,200. Now, in the long run, what we'd like to do, and we've talked about this, is to start looking at college and, you know, and all that other stuff we'd like to do, but there's no funds there right now to even address that right now. But it should be part of our salary study whenever we start talking about it. Because that's the problem that I have. The starting pay with JCPD is pretty close to ours, but then they pay for military, they pay for college degree if you're bilingual. I mean, there's a lot of things that they come in. And then after 3 years, maybe it's 5 years, after 5 years, they have a PO status, so you go to PO1 or PO2, and at PO2 you get a 5% raise across the board on top of whatever your merit raise was that year. And that's how they fix their compression issue.
God, I hate that word.
They also just spent a couple $1 million on fixing that, didn't they?
Well, they did spend a couple $1 million on doing a salary survey. I talked to those guys, I don't know how much they fixed yet.
A couple $1 million, okay.
I thought they set
It
aside
was
a bunch of
only
money to fix
$40,000.
Some stuff.
They did set aside some money to do
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the first phase or
Right.
whatever.
It's 1 point, I don't remember what now, it's 1.4 million or something that they set aside for a 2-year plan or something.
Because they hadn't given any raises in 4 or 5 years.
I don't
They
know the answer
continue to
that.
give
I was
raises.
gonna say, I
Huh?
think they
They
give
had-
consistent raises.
Yeah, consistent raises every year,
They may have skipped a year here or a year there.
but it was always more than ours.
Where you at, Sam?
I'm still where I am. I'm kinda like Kristen's thing where maybe, mid-year, we look at the, patrol part-time, but
What about the sergeant and corporal pay?
I think we need to do that too.
You're supposed to be meaner. I thought we went over this.
I thought he was frugal. That's what he keeps
I-
saying.
Benevolent, but frugal, that's what I told Channel 8.
Benevolent.
So, we're benevolent.
Isn't that an
but frugal.
oxymoron? Like happily married?
Yeah.
Frugal but benevolent.
Not benevolent, but frugal.
You know, if we do this, Debbie's gonna want fixed compression in her office. And they're wanting raises too.
Not just me. Not just me.
I'm just using you for the example. The auditor's gonna want for compression in her office.
But do they have it in their funds?
It's not quite
She's an
fair.
auditor, she can do what she wants to.
She doesn't, we don't make money, so what can we do?
If we do the sergeant
Doctor's got
corporal
the
thing,
money.
it's, I mean, because we have these issues throughout the county. So, and it's not just yours, John.
I understand, but I have the funds. That's the difference. I understand I understand when people say that it's not fair if somebody else gets a raise and we don't. But the fact of the matter is, you're comparing apples to donuts. You can't do that. The fact of the matter is, that my fund, I have some money, so I should be able to do that, because I've already shown you that we have an issue with retaining and attracting personnel.
We got $23,646, right?
Yes. At this point.
Or, no, we take the 25 off the Brinks truck, let that set for another year.
That's a one-time cost though.
Well, I understand, but if I take that 25.
So if you take it off, you may never see it, because it's still gonna be in the salary line next year.
He's gonna get a lot more on his commissary, he's gonna get his fees.
That's fine, when that comes in,
Yeah.
then you could say, we've got increased revenue this year, that now we can spend it. But right now, I'm gonna be real conservative on that. I believe him, I think he's right, I think it's gonna increase, but until it does. I struggle with the fixing the pay. If it's in there, I think it's a good thing to fix it. Are those the only two that we're waiting to decide right now?
I think you approved, if I'm not mistaken, you've approved the roads, the cell stipend, the clothing, no, not clothing.
The
Yeah,
clothing.
Yeah, the
for
clothing stipend we
transports,
did.
The jail division salary line that you didn't know about, the sergeants and corporal pay.
Did you do the jail division salary, because we haven't added that one?
Yeah.
I don't think we.
Yeah, I don't know that we've decided on that yet.
Yeah, I didn't write okay by it. I understand it if there's,
Good try.
Just trying to push that one
I
through.
was trying to Jedi mind trick them.
I think Sam was a yes on that one.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. on the
he's yes on all of them, aren't you?
Sam was.
I am,
Haven't decided there yet, so.
One thing with that position, if I may, our posse helps out with the monitoring of video visitation, and that's one of the things they help out with. Well, over this last year, throughout the whole department, they've donated 1,000 hours. So that's one of the things that our clerks don't have to do, because we'd be paying them, you don't have to incur that cost. However, the scheduling of that is somewhat detailed to try to get that taken care of. So
And
they-
that's one of the positions that supervisor takes care of, is to make sure that the posse needs are met when it comes to that.
How many are in a posse?
How many's in our posse? We have, your numbers really aren't very good. I would say, I say the big numbers, because we have a lot of inactive members. We have probably 45 active members that come to meetings every.
And you got
month.
Greg Gaffkey too.
Well, we don't
I
count.
don't know if that's, I don't.
He's a rookie.
Don't count.
He's like a rookie.
I don't know. Of course, he's down, I think, working Is he working for LV?
Fuzzy. Like anybody will hire him.
And when the posses aren't there, the clerks, or Debbie, has to go out and set up the video presentation and do all that stuff, so. How about this? I still want the jail division salary line, of course, but she just came up, if we just did 6 months of the patrol part-time for 10,600 and look at it in 6 months and see where the program's at, see how much money it saves us. But we still fix the corporal and sergeant pay.
I mean, I truly like that we have more people out patrolling. I mean, I think that's good. It shows a good presence. It's good for all of our citizens. And I think it's a reasonable cost.
That's why I still think it should be saving us money somewhere.
Well,
That's what I'm struggling with that one. So it
I
should
think, I
offset.
think it probably will. But I think it should too. But
If we have the money in there to fix the sergeant and corporal pay, I think we need to do that. And we've done it in a couple different areas before. So we're, eating an elephant one bite at a time. We're not gonna be able to fix everything at once. Is everybody else gonna come up and ask for the stuff? Yeah. Sam would just have to say no.
we went through EMS, where we restructured their command.
you notice how everybody laughed at that?
He kept on going, he didn't miss a beat. Oh, yeah, we had.
Go ahead, kick me, Jeff. Come on.
He's
I'm just
laughing
gonna
at
throw
it.
you to the wolves once in a while.
That's all right, I got broad shoulders. John will protect me.
Well, yeah, because you was voting yes on everything. I'm gonna get pulled over as soon as I get outside city limits.
Again,
He ain't gonna wait that long.
Hey, I've still got that says, please refrain from the above things sitting in my van. Remind me. Slow down. There should not be speed limits anyway.
there's
They should be recommendations.
I tend to exceed the speed
there's a tow
limit.
truck sitting behind y'all's cars right now, so.
Yeah, mine's not here, it's over at the store. You gotta get past that dumpster.
Sam, I already told you yours is safe. You said yes to them all so far. So, all right, where do we have it? We only got 23,000 in there right now. 23,646.
Well, do you wanna do jail division salary line? Sam was a yes. Is either one of you a yes?
Well, okay, John, you get to pick and choose there. 1, 2, 3 things there that we're looking at, right?
Or are you trying to work from the 23 down? Because if you're gonna fix sergeant and corporal pay, I mean, the money's gone.
Well, and if you only got 23,620 or 646 and you wanna fix the pay, then that's all you got to work with, right?
So we'll take down.
So you can't go to 25?
So I can take down the Brinks truck down to 15, it gives me an extra 10, I can afford everything.
Oh, nice move. I keep forgetting about that Brinks truck because it's not
Yeah.
on my talking points here.
I see it every morning when I come to work, but it's not, it's just sitting there. It's-
Was it parked in your
At
driveway?
15 grand, I don't know if that's gonna be enough to fix it up, but it should be a start.
Well, I'm just being real careful with that one too because that's why it's not on this list, I guess, because it's a capital. It's a
That's right.
one-time thing.
But it's still the bottom line.
Part-time, the patrol part-time, we can eliminate that if we run out of money. So that can be done.
I concur.
Once we do the fixing the pay, we don't get to go back and say, well, times are tough, we need to cut your pay. Same with the salary line one. The salary line one the jail division salary line if they truly have additional duties and are supervising people and the posse, I can understand that one too.
Is that a yes?
If we have money. We got
Yeah.
23,646 to work with. I'm not counting
We
the,
have 52,000.
that says 23.
I know, but I got 50,000 there under the Brinks truck. Or, you know what, the portable radios, that's 26,000. I'll knock the portable radios down to 3.
It's more of the concept, are you okay with doing these salaries? It's not really.
Yeah, because
You're stealing
salaries
from
are
one place and
ongoing.
doing it
so-
I understand,
And
but you guys has referred to that number up there 3 times, and I have
I
a
know.
way to increase that number.
That's just in capital though. It's that, we're not gonna have that every year. That's 25,000. That would fix it for this year, so then you'd have to find that next year again if we make these changes.
Well, no, because next year when we start our Excel sheet, it'll already be in there, so we'll have to deal with, if it's less money, then we'll have to deal with less money next year. Unless our civil
Commissaries are
fees starts
higher.
going up, the commissary goes up. If that's the case, I'll come back up and ask for more money. I'm just kidding.
I want you to come back up and say, hey, look, here's the money I said we were gonna get. Told you so. And you can say it just like that if you want to
It's about
do that, Bob.
salaries countywide.
What did you say?
And you know, keep us informed on the part-time patrol. I just,
We haven't approved that yet, Sam.
well, I know.
Here, give him a paper, he'll sign it.
No, I'm just,
Yeah.
I'm just, I
I like everybody.
like having,
He's got the yes stamp, I got the no stamp, and then poor Chris has to get in the middle.
No pressure at all.
okay.
All right, so
I'm gonna
where
keep
are we
my mouth
at?
shut.
Next time, bring bourbon.
I can do
Salary
that.
divisions. The
Medicinal.
jail.
Or bourbon
salary.
donuts or something.
Medicinal.
Okay, jail division salary, you're a yes. Either one of you two a yes.
I've heard something
Well,
close.
Jeff was talking about it there for a minute, so.
Jeff?
but he was still trying to work with 23,000, I think.
My thing is I'm working with the 23,000.
Okay, so are
So
you
if
willing
we're
to
gonna-
let, okay, sorry.
If we're doing that, we got 53, 54,000 to work with. On them once here for 2,400, 26,000 and 25,000.
You taking the Brinks truck out?
So now you're adding the Brinks truck into their total, or the radios, or just trying to understand your thinking there.
I can't do that because the Brinks
Okay.
truck is a one-time thing.
Right, okay.
So
I thought you said something about
So I'll
50,000, so.
take,
no, I was adding up the jail division salary,
Okay.
the
Right,
corporal
okay,
sergeant
okay,
pay,
okay.
part-time.
so I'll take,
Yep. I'll take how to do budget for 500.
10,000. I'll take 10,000 off the portable radios and 10,000 off the Brinks truck. That gives me an extra $20,000 to be able to do those. And I'm not getting everything.
You didn't inform it, and I didn't have it in the form of a question, so. No.
And your vehicle, you said it malfunctions, a bicycle, can we just, I mean, then we got no fuel costs, we got,
No, I
Yeah,
think we're gonna have these hills.
And we got an exercise program too.
Yeah, we don't need that 15.
We're gonna get a pony too now. Sam's-
no.
Sam's doing a bicycle and a pony, red bicycle, and a pony. Okay, talked about the part-time for half a year, but I know we're just gonna come back and have to change that. I think that's a good thing. I mean, I think it's saving us money. That's why I think we should be able to reduce something somewhere to offset it.
Okay, is that a yes for half the salary into part-time patrol? Or whatever, what'd you come up with, 10,000 what?
It's an additional 10,600. Here's the first step.
Instead of the 26?
Additional, so this is it'll be 15,600 for what it would cost for a patrol deputy. This is minus what we've already requested.
So what you had in there?
There's 5 in there.
Yeah, that's for moving.
So how much you change I'm talking
So take the 5 out.
So if I hit refresh or something, or do I gotta go back
Take the
out of
5
this
out, make it 15.
to get it to update where yours is at, Debbie?
about? You want me to just-
I don't know, dear.
so-
Well, I try to follow her on there and it,
It's hard to see up there.
Security.
yeah, those numbers, and then about the time you find something, she clicks on something else. Goes to a different screen.
10-6. What else she added?
We got all the stipends and stuff in there.
You approved the sales stipend for the road deputies, the clothing stipend.
Can't do anything.
transports,
You don't have, you don't have.
And that's it.
Right. But now, why is our bottom line down to 13,000 there, Debbie?
Cause I added 10,000 into part-time
10,000. Okay.
around.
That's just for the part-time patrol for half a year or whatever.
You're
And
right.
then Betsy, did you have EAP in there for all those part-timers? Go down to health insurance.
Well, surely she's not adding more.
Debbie, can I hit refresh on this or something to get it to match yours?
What?
You have to go out and come
That's
back in.
$25.
Per person. So go in your health insurance, and you need to change that to 1, 2, 3,
What's that?
5 times 25.
Capital Region EAP Employee Assistant.
Oh.
50.
You still have to pay Social Security.
So giving that
Still says
10,600.
30,310.
So that's
I'll
half
try this
of the
again.
part-time in there now.
Half of the 26,000 he was
Yeah.
requesting.
Yes.
10,600.
So we're at, what's the number we're at now?
12.
Perfect. You take the 25,000 off the Brinks truck now and we can do
You're gonna fix the sergeant corporal pay for 1 year.
no, it'll be fixed forever. See, the thing of it is that then from now on, the start will always be here. 'Cause we
No,
move it
that's
up.
what I'm saying is that Brinks truck only covers it for 1 year. That 25,000 is only this year. for
Right.
18.
Right,
But then in 19, we gotta figure out.
19, we start out with that number, so it doesn't matter what you put in there. It may be less that we have to be able to come and ask you for. I mean, that's a fact.
You're gonna have 25,000 a year in capital less every year.
No, 25,000 across the board less. You see what I'm saying?
No.
So,
Am I
like right now, my start, let's
confused?
just say we're paying $1 million in salary, okay, which is more, but let's just say $1 million in
Yeah,
salary.
round numbers, I'm good.
Okay, so $1 million in salary, and then I get a $100,000 pay increase, so that's $1,100 coming out of my salary line. My total is only $5 million. So when I go to 2019, I start at $1.1 million, and I can still only go to 5 million. So it'll reduce the amount that I can come to you about next year.
Okay, the 25,000 that we had for the Brinks was in capital, right?
Right.
Now it's gonna basically be in operations, and it's gonna stay in operations. So it's gonna be 25,000 less in capital every year,
Well,
pretty
his
much.
capital fluctuates from year to year depending on what his requests are, so he could make
Oh,
that
that word.
25 up next year
Fluctuations.
either.
Well, we can knock out that.
I know.
We can knock
Well,
we can
but all
knock
the-
out that backup
kinda
art server.
depends
and
on what the
CNC
sales
groups out
tax
there.
is,
That
too.
was my request anyway.
Don't do that.
He's saying no matter what, if you put it into salaries, they plug their salaries first and fill the rest of their budget
Yeah,
after.
I see what he's saying on it. Which, I mean, it's true, right?
Oh, John said it is, yeah.
I'm wearing it.
Now you're starting to sound like Sam.
Hey, you know, I'm gonna leave. You guys hurt my feelings.
Sam's like, I'm right here.
I'm gonna go get my,
Especially with those
go get my
12s
coffee
and
cup.
adding
This might be bourbon.
Don't worry, Sam, they won't like me as much as they like you. I'm not gonna say yes to everything. I don't get too chummy with people, Sam. I do it on purpose. I'll forget people's names on purpose just so I don't think I like them. Thanks. Where are you at on, Chris? Are you on the fence anywhere, or are you a no? Or yes, or maybe?
I guess, with all three of you. Happily.
So we're gonna do it for 6 months? Is that what we got plugged in there right now?
Yes.
I actually think it saves us money and stuff. That's why I don't mind doing that one. I think it needs to decrease overtime or salaries or
So
something
here's the
somewhere.
question, are we doing it for 6 months and then after 6 months, if it's not saving us money, taking it out? Or are we doing it 6 months to look at it? Because if you're planning on paying for it all year, no matter if it saves us money or not, you need to put the whole year in there and not come back in the middle of the year and transfer money.
Right.
Well, how about this? And I appreciate what you're saying, but how about we do 6 months? And then we see how much we're saving, and if I can show that we're saving $8,000 in that 6 months, then we can take $8,000 from our overtime and put it over into, and it doesn't cost y'all anything. If we can actually show that we're saving money, and I may come to you and say, we're not saving that much money, but we need to continue the program.
Our next new
Yeah,
people-
and then we might-
But you did say that
Put it
because
all
it-
in there.
Take some stress off for your deputies. You're
Or
not
hire these
overworking
new
them and
people
stuff.
and we
So,
don't have overtime and part-time.
I mean, that's one argument, is that you're doing that so you don't have to overwork other people. But if you're not having to overwork them, then they're not getting overtime, right? Or you're just allowing them to have time off.
No, I think
So-
I think it's both what you said. I think it allows them some time off, but it also will reduce our overtime. They did 984 hours that I would have to have somebody do
Yeah.
this past year. So that would have been overtime. Or, well, the majority of it would have been overtime. So
What
it's
else
hard
we-
to put a number on how much they save because it depends upon who is gonna be working the overtime.
Yeah. How much, what else we got after law enforcement fund?
We've only got an hour and 45 minutes.
Finish up on the bridge and decide if we're gonna keep anything else.
I said that,
The
that's
salaries.
facetious.
No, we're done.
We're done with capital.
As far as
As far as what capital?
the sales tax. go.
Sales tax. Capital improvement sales tax. We did it.
I was just saying if we had
I
even
didn't
the
think we
full
really made any decisions
till
on any
noon,
of
we're
that.
done.
Well, we just have a budget amount.
We put in
Oh, okay.
We haven't made.
a
no-
placeholder, you haven't decided.
Okay.
What you're
where it is.
doing.
No.
We decided we'd wait on that.
So how much were we gonna spend out of that?
Capital,
Mm-hmm.
total,
We just had a number there with all your different ones in there, all your different line items in it.
the spreadsheet, you mean, or
Eyes are starting to float.
We didn't put any particular projects in there, it's just,
Right, but we looked at the capital requests,
yes.
and we had some projects in there that gave us some kind of a total or whatever. But I don't remember us ever talking about what that total we were gonna spend. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
You put a total expenditure for the year in there?
well, we
We
figured out
had-
what reserve you wanted.
Right.
And then backed into it.
yeah.
So what was that number? You guys must have done that. Were we here?
See, John, you look good and see.
Yes, remember the conversation about do you want more reserve in there or not, and we'll backfill with whatever the difference
Okay.
is. So we figured out what computers were, and we figured out what contingency was, and backfilled the capital improvement amount.
Okay.
1.2 plus the old sales tax, I think that's about 2.
200,000. About 1.4 total.
And did that
When all the money
include
comes
the
in.
health department or not?
No, it's in general.
It's in
Oh,
general.
The
yeah.
actual building.
Some of this stuff, yes, for the health department,
Okay.
the roof and whatever else you guys decide on.
Okay.
I mean, we can go back over the list if you want today.
I was just waiting for Jeff to come back.
Yeah.
Wait for you, Jeff.
For me, for what?
We missed you.
No, go on without me. I mean, don't let me hold that budget by any means.
We missed you.
It was probably quiet and everybody was friendly.
Mm-hmm. So what was the decrease in the capital request for,
That's what I'm saying.
25, I think, for the Briggs truck.
take that completely out, take the
Were you
25 out?
wanting to do the whole Briggs truck, or you wanna take 10 from radios and 10 from the
Yeah, I'll take 10 from radios and 10 from Brinks truck. Pat, get it, Pat.
Okay,
Yeah.
here's the deal, now you just reduce it by the amount you need to fix this, if you're willing to do that.
What's
And
that?
if you wanna do all the radials or the truck, I mean, that's all you got to work with, is what it's gonna
Yeah,
amount to.
that's, yeah, that's,
So, I mean,
You're gonna-
obviously,
Actually,
25
with
is
that,
what
we-
you're taking out,
we
right?
leave it,
I thought your 20 taken out.
Take 15 from the Brinks truck,
You went into 10.
and then 10 from the, oh, I thought it was 10 and 10, wasn't it?
We need
I thought you said
53.
20.
Sorry, 10 and 10, so 10 from the,
So
from,
15 for the Briggs truck.
yeah, go back to 15.
Okay, so for the part-time
Take that to 16.5.
sergeant and corporal pay and jail division salary line, it was 53,600,
that
right?
was, yeah, that was for the whole year of part-time.
53,600.
Yeah, we're done.
But you've already,
Did you wanna do half the year of part-time, or do you wanna do the full year?
all I have is 32.
32 has half the part-time in there.
Oh, then leave it there and just do the corporal and,
Does that get the uniforms?
no, we'll keep the uniforms there, but you can do the corporal and sergeant's pay and the jail division salary line.
Yeah, but then you're gonna be coming back and asking us for more money for uniforms.
As far as you know, I will not.
Yeah, right.
badges.
Seriously, I think, you think this,
I buried some coffee on that.
Damn,
Oh, I'm sorry.
that surprised me.
We're just getting a little slap happy. We've been in this room
that's why
for
I
too
brought, that's why
long.
we got.
Hey, no windows, you know, we need
Thank you.
windows, we need windows, or a skylight or something like that.
All right.
So I mean, obviously, obviously with the part-time patrol, if you're an individual that's on military leave, continues on military leave, you have money and salaries to cover some of this part-time patrol.
That's what I'm saying, let's leave it at 10-6 and then reevaluate in 6 months. Because truthfully, and Sneller would probably cut my throat, but truthfully, if in the first 6 months we can show that we're saving, let's just say we save $8,000 again, and then we should be able to take that from our overtime and move it over and not even charge you guys. Not even ask for money.
All right, so are you good with all three of those if they've got funds there? Looks like they do.
Yeah. And he said he's not gonna ask for more beginning at the middle of the year.
Get that in writing.
Yeah.
We got it,
What'd you
it's
say?
recorded, we got.
Yeah, I heard him say as far as we know. That little-
Well, you're not helping,
Uniforms
Jeff.
too, right? Let's make a list.
Yeah.
The uniforms, the
We might have that as secondary garbage.
repairs.
Worst case, we put them all in tuxedos. We can, yeah.
There you go, your courtroom people.
Yeah, that'll look good.
For tuxedo.
So are you gonna, if there's a raise this year, you're gonna fix it, that's all the raise they get, that's all the fixes that they get, they don't get to 1%. If we do 1%. are you
This
gonna
has,
do-
no, this has nothing to do with that. So one is.
It's gonna affect that a little bit.
We did some raises before, we did it before the end of the year, so then after the first of the year, where they were trying to fix some stuff, then after the first of the year, they also got another raise that we did. I forget what it was that year. They're not getting raised on top of the raise.
Well, actually, yes, if it's a 1% across a COLA raise across the board, you have to give it. You can't not give somebody a COLA raise.
Yeah, we can fix it after January 1st. You can give them the COLA raise, but then you can go fix the corporal and sergeant pay after January 1st. See what I'm saying? Right? Did I say that right?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Do
Yeah,
the
which is-
1% first, and then there'll be less money to fix the corporal and sergeant's pay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which would, yes, we're only talking one pay period.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
Well, it doesn't affect till the second check in January.
I don't know how much it will save us, the 1%, but
Yeah, it's pennies, but.
We're gonna take it out of IT.
It's not till the second check in January.
Come have a seat, join us.
So much for you getting pastries.
Have a donut.
I was just stopping by.
You go right ahead.
IT's down to what, $20,000? We just keep taking it out of IT?
yeah, but that's all he has to pay me to work for him.
Tin cans,
You have to pay
tin
us.
cans and string.
Thank you, guys. Girls?
So what'd you vote, Ron? Yes or no? If it's yes, your yes vote, obviously, got your donut.
Got my donut.
Good?
Yeah, we're gonna do the part-time for half a year and, I mean, the way it sounds, we shouldn't have to come back, because you're still gonna have somebody gone through April at least, and it may get extended, so you might be able to just transfer from there anyway.
So we're
Right.
yeses to fixing sergeant and corporal. You're a yes, you're a yes.
Oh, I hadn't voted yet. I was waiting to see if Jeff was a yes.
He just-
Because he said he had his no stamp out.
So then,
I didn't think he brought a yes stamp.
are you also a yes to the jail division salary line?
We got the money there now, it's in there to cover it, right? The part-time thing, if we're gonna do a portion of it, if we're gonna have to come back and fix it in the middle of the year, I just wanna do it all now. I don't wanna come back in the middle of the year. But what I hear is you should be able to save money, so it should cover,
I really think that we should leave it at 10.6 for right now, and
Yes, she said.
okay, I'm fine with that, because that's less than what was on here.
I'm assuming this does too.
Okay, that one, okay, I'm okay on.
But
just-
did
I
both
just-
your numbers
Good on all three?
include benefits?
Yeah.
2,400 and
I'm good on all three too, so.
What we got down for the
So-
sergeant and corporal.
What
Yep.
y'all have up there is dilly-dilly,
Run like hell, John.
dilly-dilly.
Oh, I just wondered if that included all the benefits.
Oh, I have no
I think
idea.
it's Old English where they say that stuff delightful.
I'm the eye candy.
She's checking.
I thought you said it was
Is
21
it, was it?
before.
I think it was English. Old English.
Sergeant and corporal.
I don't know, they were having a thing on History Channel today about where, it's where some of these little sayings come from.
That's where
So
dilly-dilly
it's-
comes from.
It's a yes on all three of those.
Got it.
Yes on the jail division salary.
Yeah.
Yes on the sergeant and corporal.
Yep.
John, get on out of here. Back to the pit of
And
misery.
the half
Run.
time.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Did we go through all of them then? We're done with all his?
And bring in more revenue, so.
Working on
offset
it.
And donuts.
No, don't bring more donuts.
Those are empty calories.
Healthy snacks. Hey, you know
That's
what?
why we're wellness.
After I ate that.
We're on wellness.
You know what? You got workout equipment, start bringing in healthy snacks, not donuts.
Can I have my vote?
But thank you.
Hey, maybe that's what we should do. We should have the budget meetings while we're on treadmills.
Betsy, if you give me a
Might think
list
more
of that,
clearly.
who that would be, I guess.
Of course,
Get a little frustrated, you can just take off running on it and,
lose your train of thought, you might end up in the wall.
It's okay, Betsy. We can fix it.
We
Hit the
could
wrong
just
button.
Sometime, yeah.
hey.
Oh, wow, this is, would you wash my car too? I just try to see how far.
I was asked that.
I thought you said earlier it was 20.
Tell Chelsea I said thank you for making it.
Sure.
Did Shannon make it or did she make it? Did she? Okay. I thought Shannon was maybe starting to do it.
Fill it all the way up, just half or something.
Yeah.
now I gotta go find out if I'm kicked out or not.
You guys are
That's good,
so
thank
hard.
you.
Not kidding.
Thanks, sir.
Hopefully I'm still in.
What's the occasion?
I have Command College, it's a master's program.
Oh, I just get nervous when people carry them over top of the computers. No, it's fine. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. You guys need coffee?
So you already missed more than you should have?
No, 2 hours is all I missed, so see y'all later.
See ya. See you, Aaron. Merry Christmas, guys. We don't see you before then. All
Take care.
Yep.
right, I'm no on everything else from here on out.
Me too.
No, that's good.
Yeah, right.
We don't even have to do anything now. It's a 2 votes.
Yeah, we're done.
Okay.
Cell phone and,
No,
Yeah? No, you
no,
guys said
no.
it.
I said no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam and Jeff are no on everything else, so we're done.
Works for me.
If I grow up, I want to be just like Jeff.
When are you gonna grow up?
I don't know.
I don't even know what I want to be when I grow up, Sam, so I don't know.
So we haven't gotten road and bridges changes.
I just got an email from him.
They weren't coming back today?
Well, I don't know if we officially asked him to come back. I just asked him to make sure the data was here.
Hey, but did you guys all sign things for Lynn?
Well, I think they were gonna look at the changes that we made and see what they could do and where they can make it
Everybody's got
work.
this, so I don't.
What
Want me
page
to
are
print
they
it?
on?
I don't wanna
They're
work
way
back
towards the
and
back.
forth with these.
Yeah.
Meant for me, just because I don't have anything to look at.
Yeah, I can't get back to the other one if I don't.
88.
We're going color too. Do what?
What were we needing to cut back on theirs so much for?
We needed to reduce their deficit just to try to get it to a more manageable number.
So we kind of looked
Except
at
weren't we
last
still
year
at
to
six?
see what kind of deficits we had. Road and bridges was 531.
Last year?
531 last year.
Yeah, this year it's 6.
This year we were at 658, so that's why we kind of asked them, cut out 100. General fund last year was 107.
No, you're saying deficit, but that was 600,000 minus 500,000 cash forward.
No,
Or 600,000
No.
minus 100,000 cash forward.
no.
We had a $600,000 spending deficit on theirs last year.
Between current year revenue and current year expenditures.
Was that-
530 last year. Correct?
Was I not at budget last year?
We didn't look at that, really, and we never really have looked
Because I'm just
at
trying to print. it.
true just expenditures over revenues. I
Yeah.
mean, we've always played with that cash forward and, I mean, to take all that out, it gives you a better look at what you're actually spending.
I know, that's what I was trying to get to yesterday.
Can do that.
But every time I did it, we went some different way with it. So, where was that money coming from then?
They
They're
don't,
spending down their reserves if they met that mark. So if they spent everything they budgeted, they would have spent down their reserves by 531,000. They currently do not spend everything they budget. So they have a lot of cushion built in for if
Print a
we
bunch
have
of
a
it.
bad
I'd say that's
winter,
close enough.
or if the gas prices go up, or,
And that should increase your carry forward each year.
so yes, their carry forward is going up because they don't spend everything they budget.
Okay, so, actual spending and budget are two different things. So what did they actually do last year?
their actual expense.
Actually, were we actually over last year by the 600,000?
Well,
No,
this year is not over yet.
Okay, no, this year was 600,000. Last year was 500, right?
well, we're talking, no,
Okay.
2017 was 531.
Okay, so if I go out of here and I do task, create or edit budget, select fund,
Jeff's getting old like
Road and Bridge.
the rest of us, and he's talking while he's doing stuff.
You ought to see me in a magazine or newspaper. I'll be sitting there and I can't look at it, and I'll try to make the picture bigger with my hands, like you do with your phone.
Right
work.
now,
Try to make the picture bigger on a magazine.
I'm like,
Do you need glasses? Do you need
yes,
glasses?
but I'm fighting it, Sam, okay?
so their projection when we did the budget was
So-
they were gonna come $98,000 ahead with their budget. So they were gonna add $98,000 to their carry forward.
Where you at up there, Kristen?
So
Is that 200?
17 projected here. 98, 544.
Okay,
200 is the,
So
Fine.
if you take this 98 plus their 3822, you get to the 3936.
okay. $100,000 difference roughly, right?
So this is where they were projected to be.
that 98,
Then
540.
your
I don't
actual-
get that, Kristen. 3822 plus 98 don't get there.
How do I forget the I thought there was something.
3822 and 98 gets
It's
me
not
about.
exact, so
Okay.
this number here,
Oh.
we have,
Okay.
well, we have 3 different ways we project their cash flow.
Mm-hmm,
That's one. We also have a spreadsheet where we take their actual cash at a particular point in time, add last year's expenditures for like the last 2 or 3 months, depending on what point in time we are. And we see which projection is the most conservative.
okay. Okay, well, I was trying to do the math there and I came up to
So,
about.
yes, it's not always going to be exactly that,
Okay,
but you're fairly close.
okay.
Now, go to the bottom of the 2016 activity.
So 16 was 82,
We were 82 in the good,
yes.
but that was having a good year. We didn't have a terrible snow year. If we had a terrible snow year, that could have been 200,000 to the bad, which then we'd have the carry forward that we'd be able to
Right,
get that from.
right.
So what was their total budget for 17?
Total budget 17.
The original budget was,
So original or amended, because they've added about $50,000, 60.
Okay, so 7491 was the,
Amended right now.
right. And they only spent 5137, oh wait, where you at?
Right,
Debbie,
so
5401.
5401 was their projected amount that they were going to spend, yes.
Okay, so that's $2 million less than what their budget was.
Well,
Yeah, you just
so
take the cash forward out
They
of
had
there.
cash forward.
See, that's why,
So, yeah.
you just
Right.
need to delete that whole frickin' column. Delete. Can I delete that?
You
no,
can remove it from your screen.
on this.
Because then
Because
your
he's
number,
doing this
oof,
too.
it's not
How
letting me
you-
do anything.
How do you?
Go up to the budget
Delete.
template, you can tell what columns you want.
Delete.
Oh, but not a row.
It doesn't let me
A
change
line.
anything in here.
No.
No, he's saying
He
a
can do
whole
a
line.
column. He has the column. Yes,
Oh,
you can remove
I
the
thought he
whole
was talking
column.
about carry forward across.
Because it skews my number.
Yeah, he's talking about carry.
So I'm looking at 16, it doesn't
Debbie, go
have
to
cash
options
forward,
and
contingency
make
stuff in
sure-
there.
That's what I was trying to figure out where that was.
Well,
Set.
they got
So
payroll.
so if I take that, yeah, something's wrong there. So I take that 7491 and I take that 2,061 out.
Where did you get 2,060?
Well,
That's the cash forward.
that's a cash forward.
And that should be
Cash
about
forward
what?
was 3, no.
So then I've got 5,431.
Oh, because I was looking at the wrong line when I was telling you cash forward.
So 5,431 and they spent 5,401, that leaves 30 grand.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay. 2000 amended budget. Budget's 7491. You take the 2,061 cash forward out of that.
Right.
And we have to
That
take,
gives you 5,430. Correct? 5,430. Correct?
yeah, taking that 2 million out, yes.
5,430. Well, they spent 5,401. Leaves me 29,000.
Right, but you're looking at 2 different things. So their actual projected revenue is 5.5.
This is all projection right here.
Yeah, that one's
5.5.
all just projecting out.
And it
So-
doesn't have that.
So the projected revenue is not in the, that
Well,
doesn't affect their actual
Well,
budget?
so like if you look at taxes here, their taxes were this in the budget, but this is where we projected them out to be. This is where they're actually at
Okay.
the moment. So, it's,
So you got more revenues coming in than
Right.
what you anticipate?
right.
So it's
Okay.
always
I'm
better,
just trying to figure out where the difference was.
Right.
yeah, it's always better to look at the actual activities, 16, compared to the actual projected for 17.
So my
not look at the
projection
budget.
here, this is where they're actually at the moment. They have another round of payroll,
Yep.
yet most of their revenue is in for the year.
So they're gonna
And they
be,
have one more budget run.
so they're
So
gonna,
this number could be a little low based on this.
okay.
So they could come out, I would say, probably 250,000 to the good. I mean,
Right. Somewhere between 455 and 98.
right. But they also probably have some larger expenditures in this last run, plus they have another round of payroll to go. And all of their revenue is mainly taxes, and it's probably in already. I know that their property taxes are, because they hit yesterday or the day before. Car and motor vehicle probably are.
I'm guessing it's gonna be about 180.
Most, they could have a little bit of fuel.
Where's the big items that they're not spending, where they, I mean, obviously fuel's one,
Cinders,
salt was one.
salt, I mean, yeah, not
They don't have
cinders.
And
December,
their cinders was 20,000.
they
But
don't have
I mean,
carpet.
if you're budgeting, say last year we budgeted a $530,000 deficit, and of course, you know, there could be some extra revenues that we didn't anticipate.
Right.
So, you know, but I'm just trying to figure out, they're gonna be a couple $100,000 to the good, so that's about a $700,000 swing.
That's very big swing.
Yeah.
And that's
Very
what the
big.
auditors get excited about.
Right, well, I mean, so that's where I'm trying to find 700,000 that they didn't
But, so
spend.
if you look at some of their line items, like repairs, we budgeted 90,000. We projected them to spend 35.
Yes.
Like right now, they're at 31.
Okay,
I mean, there's
I mean, there's 60.
$60,000.
Mhm.
Same thing if you look at asphalt. $90,000, we projected them to spend 63. That one, my
30.
projection's off.
Okay,
So, I mean, it,
well, that's fine, but I mean, that's 100. You got 600 more to go to get
but
there.
you, I mean, it's, a lot of their lines are that way. So paint and beads, 153, they spent 136.
Excuse me.
$20,000. I mean, when you go through their budget and you
Right.
add those up, it eventually adds up.
Salt, 384. We're only at 222.
Right, so
Fuel
there's,
was
still have half a million.
Oh, we
$439,
were-
we spent 200 and something, so you got,
Road materials is 100,000.
I mean, if it all adds up to the 653, which that's what we're, right now, under commission approved, it's showing that.
I mean, so right there, vehicle heavy equipment, there's 120.
so they have a PO out there for a piece of equipment that they haven't paid for yet, I think. It's either in there or it's in sales tax, I don't know which one.
53 what?
291.
Number in the red is the one that just concerns me.
And like I said, they have cushion built in there, but if they have a bad year, they're gonna use the cushion.
I
So
know.
Yeah, that, just
So-
that's
just
why
salt
I would
and
like
loan
them to start
materials.
whittling that down some. That's why I said I would be more comfortable with that number being closer to 500.
Well, that's what Debbie gave us. There.
I guess I still don't understand why the 500 would be comfortable.
Because they have a $700,000 swing. They're not coming in there.
So then why not don't even budget that money? Just say, if we have a bad year and we've got to get $400,000 more in salt, that's when we go into this contingency emergency fund.
I've tried to
I think
make
I
that
understand
point,
what you
but
got going.
they-
I didn't yesterday. I didn't understand it all. I still,
I think their budget is so depending on, so they feel comfortable putting it up higher than it needs to be, because, then it needs to be on a good year. On a bad year, they may need it.
Yeah.
But you're right, I think they're a department that you guys would not give a hard time to transfer. Previous commissions would give a hard time, and so that's why they've just gone to the point of putting it up there.
And they've also, I think that there was a previous commissioner that wanted them to spend down their reserve. They didn't want that larger number sitting in reserve, so they wanted them to budget it like they were gonna spend it, so.
I think, I mean, I don't agree with that, but I think the reserves are there for big catastrophic things, huge storm events.
Well, their catastrophic things are catastrophic. I mean, to them, $200,000 in salt is nothing.
Right.
I mean, for most other departments,
Right.
you're not gonna see that kind of expenditure in an emergency. For their department, it's
Yeah.
high likelihood that if there's
See,
an
I don't,
emergency.
yeah, I don't wanna necessarily be spending down that contingency, cause if you have a lower bottom road,
Yeah,
that can be gone. There's
And it could take
nothing saying
years to get
FEMA's
that
gonna come in and
money
help with
back.
that stuff
Then it could take years to get it back.
with that too,
Well,
so.
if you had a tremendously bad winter, you talk about salt, calcium chloride, cinders, whatever, but not only that, but your trucks are out running more. And
Yeah.
so, you know, you're talking about
Overtime.
more fuel,
Overtime, yeah.
overtime, and then repairs. I mean, when your trucks are running that hard, you're gonna tear stuff up. And so, you know, you could easily drop $500,000 in one winter over what they have budgeted.
yeah.
The good thing too is if you look at the front page of their capital requests, so they do have about $468,000 worth of capital
Right.
requests. So those are hopefully one-time things. Some of their software probably not, but could it be cut out if it needed to be? Maybe. So, I mean, that's a good thing to look at too, is of that deficit, a lot of those expenditures could be one-time.
So what did you hand us here that,
This is what Larry, they just sent us.
Oh,
So we asked them to.
so this is,
right?
This is
Yeah,
the
this
items
is-
they-
I found it right
And
here.
so they've
Next to
taken
me.
it down, you know, from
they got it.
650,000.
But
50,000
unfortunately, the biggest part of it's capital.
I mean, so basically, the only big one that they cut out more than what we cut the other day was 146,000 out of capital. And so what was that? Just the single axle dump truck?
Yes. I would assume. So it's
And
That's
that
what it
was,
says.
that was $146,000. What other stuff did they have in their capital there? They had the boom mower.
550. So
Did-
there's-
I thought they said something about
They have
a
some
grader.
sales tax.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, they do have some sales tax.
okay.
So
So-
this is the
You want me
first
to go
sales
there?
tax cycle that we've set aside money for heavy equipment in their portion of the sales tax too.
okay.
They
Really?
have- Yeah. they have money.
It was never in the brochure.
So is this saying that they're okay with the changes?
So did we do something different when we,
We changed the brochure. to-
Yeah, these are what they're-
For them.
Because
And why
it
didn't-
basically got to the point where we couldn't use 200 for any capital because we were the 25% back to all the cities. So that then put a stop on the capital.
Well,
And that's why we haven't been
We
replacing.
were back paying the city of Jefferson.
Yes.
So we had $100,000
Plus.
that we were back paying to the city, plus their normal 25%.
Yeah, a million total.
So when we finally paid the city off, that freed up about $100,000 in
Just
here so
100.
they could start buying equipment again.
But it was
So-
at a standstill.
is there, I mean, is there a reason that we're not just buying all this out of the sales tax?
I think they have a plan. I think they have a plan for each year. I forget, let me look what the total
And it's
was.
only a
Yeah.
certain amount per year.
Yeah. I wonder where I can find that on the brochure. I don't know if I got all that. I should have that. Hang on. So they had a plan, and of course they didn't buy any the first year because they were hoarding, you know,
Right, we're saving
building
money.
it up, because when they buy equipment, it's equipment. Where's theirs at?
Yeah, so they have three 550 truck replaced, that need to be replaced. They were able, current budget, to
Did you
replace
see it
one
up
of
there?
them.
Equipment,
Proposing to replace second one, they're in 2018.
$1,450,000.
1.4 over the 5 years?
Yes, yes.
It's not that much, really. So do they have a list of what they're wanting to spend out of capital? Because, I mean, a road grader's not cheap.
I
I
think
would
that's
just
the
have to
only
load
item this coming year.
Well, I realize that.
There's one
but
that, there's one that hasn't been paid for out of this year that they purchased, but they haven't paid for yet.
So they've already bought one.
So they have done a PO and everything, but they haven't received the truck yet, so,
The truck or the grader?
no, I think the grader's next year. I think
Okay.
they actually have a truck,
That's what I was thinking. There was a
Is it out
truck
of
that
both
they.
of them, or is it out of this? It's gotta be out of the new one.
yeah. So there, the 17 single axle dump truck, they have not received yet.
And then the
next
the
year is
graders.
only the new grader.
Okay, 290,000.
Yes.
Yeah, so when you spend 300 grand in one shot, eat
It
up
doesn't take
1.4
long.
million really quick.
Yeah. And you know, we're at 423 right here out of the, so you only have $1 million left for the next 3 years.
Right.
So,
They bought something last year.
did they buy something last year? Well, or this year, you mean?
No, you're right. They didn't spend it last year.
Well, we bought a couple new graders. I don't remember how long ago that'd been, but, 3,
We
4
bought
years
this
ago.
out this
Yeah, it's been a little ways back.
Yeah, but that was on a buyback program, and so
We bought these out of it this year.
that stuff.
Yes.
Yes,
Right.
trailer, the backhoe, and the wheel loader.
Yeah, that wheel loader.
So, and I'm sorry, then we've spent this plus what we intend to spend out of the 1.4.
No, so that other stuff was additional to what the request is for
Yeah,
18.
you'd have to add those two together to get,
Well, so your outside number there doesn't match your note.
It doesn't?
We need to figure out if that 133 needs to be in. I would leave it in there first, because I'm pretty sure that Eric said that it wasn't gonna get paid out, but.
I thought that automatically changes that.
Oh, is that the one that they're already bought?
Right, right.
Oh,
So
'cause
that
it's a
one's
PO.
dependent on whether or not they actually get it paid out this year or it gets paid out next year.
Maybe that's why the difference is. Because it's probably, well, it should be in here though.
I think you changed the note on the outside that day he was up here. And
Yeah.
then changed the inside.
I'm gonna put,
But I think it needs to be in there, but.
yeah, they're
he's
not gonna
supposed
pay it
to
at this
send you-
point.
He's supposed to send you updated.
I'd feel better if I would just at least put it in there. Yeah, but, oh, so you're saying it happened after this? Is the only way it would still be that? Is that what you're
Right,
telling
you
me?
changed that number out there. So that it didn't match that number on the inside.
Oh, that's good. I wasn't even looking at that. At least it's out there when he comes.
What are we trying to
Unless he
solve now?
changed something. He can't change mine, can he?
No.
Okay. Back to road and bridge, depending on how much you guys feel comfortable with. If that's something you want to take out, is that big
I don't
capital
know what
purchase?
you're talking about taking out. What are you talking about?
This list they just said.
What about it?
That's the cuts that they came back with. Do you want to take those out?
The only one they really,
Well, here's where I'd like to be. I'd like to take their salt back to the 384 and take the erosion control back to 5, and then just take that one purchase out of the vehicle heavy equipment at 146 and see where we're at as far as our deficit.
So you're saying leave salt at the 384?
They cut it to
Yep.
369.
Well, I realize that.
You want to leave it at 384?
Yes.
Let's do
If
that.
they're gonna cut out the 146,000, we asked them to cut out about 100, right?
Well, we were trying to get him down to the 5.
That's,
Well, last year we were at
That's-
531 or whatever, but
So let's
Just put-
let's
take
just take
capital.
that 146 out and see where we
Is that in here? Yeah.
Because I think some of these we already did, didn't we? We backed those.
some of those we did, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason we adjusted salt by 1,000 was to give them
that-
5 more in concrete.
And they left that 5 in concrete.
Well, in repairs, we knocked them back down to 50, but they want that to stay at 60.
Right,
So we're gonna add 10 more there if we go with their numbers.
right.
So what's the ultimate goal?
Ultimate goal is to get it to 500,000, right?
Yeah, we're at 507 right
So do
now.
you want to add the repairs back up to 60?
You're talking vehicle repairs.
Yeah, 53299.
Well, if you do that, then take, where'd they say it was okay taking it off of? Maybe on,
So that was 10. Well, we need 17, so how about, you don't
Where do
want
we
to
got
do the
leased equipment?
salt or the culverts? Did we do culverts?
I'm gonna go down the list, leased equipment, that's the top one on their list, right?
That
Can we
would
do
be
it that
at
way?
49.
Because we're it's at 30 or 50?
They're okay to
It's
take
at
it to
30.
30.
30, yeah.
So we're gonna leave it at 30 then.
Okay.
Repairs, that's the
We're at
one we were
50.
trying to decide on. We got 50 in there right now, so we'll come back to it. Culverts, we got it down to
Did you have
55.
50 in there, or did you change it?
No, I didn't change.
They were okay with it at 55, is that?
I got 50. Okay, wait a minute, culverts, 53849.
So she has the 10 out of repairs, you leave it at 50 first?
Just leave it
Yeah,
alone for right
they
now.
want
Come
me
back
to
to it,
leave it
because that's the one we had questions about,
Okay.
right? Everybody all right with that? Culverts?
is at 55.
Okay, that's,
Oh.
I'm just having troubles finding these on the screen, and I was trying to follow Debbie there for a second, and
850, sorry.
And my head's
I'm getting
spinning.
confused, so I can imagine you guys are
Salt.
looking at this. Salt,
Salt is at 383. We only cut 1,000 out of there,
what the,
because that's where we were trying to make.
oh, that's when we,
5.
yeah, that's when we was just trying to get,
So
well, they were
some-
okay going 369 on that. So if we need to make some up, we can,
okay, Chris, you're not comfortable cutting that?
Well, I don't think we need to get to 500,000. I mean, last year we were at 531. Obviously, it is what it is. I mean, it's, whether you're $530,000 deficit or you're a $500,000 deficit, ain't gonna really make a hill of beans.
so basically, you're okay leaving the salt in there, go back to the, leaving what they want for repairs in at 60,
Yeah,
okay? We're basically gonna take out that 146.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
Of
that's-
equipment.
Well,
That's-
and then the other changes we made the other day, other than that 1,000.
Is it concrete was 65?
yeah, concrete went back to 65.
Yeah, we're right there.
That erosion control, they want to be 5.
I mean, I know what we're doing here, it's still weird seeing
Yeah.
that red number at the bottom.
Right.
It drives me nuts.
Right, oh, I get it, yeah. I mean, I'd like for it to be 0 too, but, you know, they are under our
It's-
control and they only spend what they need to spend, so.
Yeah.
If it was me, I'd put it in contingency.
Well, I think.
I wouldn't even have it as an
Okay.
expense,
We
it
put
just,
that back
it'd
in
be,
there.
and if we didn't use it for salt this year, or, you know, truck repairs and stuff, it'd carry forward and we'd be at 2.5 next year.
Well, and technically,
We're taking the staff feels like.
I know what
this
you're
is not
saying,
correct.
technically it is in contingency,
I know.
but I mean,
It's-
as
it's marked
as I
for
don't
salt.
spend my cash grows and so my contingency grows too.
And I'm fine with that, build that nest egg.
Right, I mean, you know, if we have a big expense, that's why we got cash in this fund and we'll use it.
Well, and it also gives you the ability, if there's a
To
year you wanna
repair.
buy more equipment,
Mhm.
you then have the contingency to buy that equipment.
Yeah, if we have trucks
I mean, we
and
have it.
craps or whatever and we gotta.
But that stupid red number at the bottom is driving me nuts. So, all right, we're,
They made
what
a
are we
plea,
at?
they made a.
5435?
Sorry.
So you
They-
okay to take the repairs back to 60?
Well, so erosion control, real fast,
Yes.
Yeah.
they asked that it to be left at 5,
Right.
even though they put this here. You guys good?
Well, that's because they hadn't classified it correctly
Yeah.
or billed it correctly.
So that just makes me think that there's $5,000 in
Well,
another
the prop-
line that,
That came, yeah.
Probably is, but then they won't spend it, so.
okay.
Leave it at 1,000?
5.
Okay, I did.
Well.
Yeah,
I think,
I'm
yeah,
fine.
I think so.
I'm fine, and we're gonna leave salt at
We're at
384.
111, or 511, sorry.
Right, well, take
Okay.
repairs back to the 60. You guys okay with that? And then you had salt back at 384 and erosion back at 5.
We have it at 383.
Yeah, I see what they were doing, just trying to get it to 500
Mhm.
even, and so,
But
And then
we're-
down,
like you
down
said, the
one.
511 is not gonna be,
Sorry.
No,
522.
522.
So we're under what we did for last year, right?
Fair.
Well, but
It would be nice to slowly cut away at that.
we're about
not really making
we're about
any
130,000 less than where we were.
cut away at what?
Yesterday.
That deficit, I would like to slowly move it down.
Oh, we could fix that this year. You just take the stuff out of salt and stuff and leave the emergency stuff in contingency.
Well, I understand what Kristen's saying, and so does Public Works have a lot of fluff in their budget? Oh, yeah. There's a lot of fluff.
If you,
But-
if you don't have a bad year.
Yeah. I mean, so, yeah, you could
So, the
trim it
concern-
all.
The concern with their department is if there is a bad year and they would spend most of their budget, the next year they're gonna have to make some cuts.
If you have 2 bad years in a row. Actually, if you
Well-
have about 4 bad years in a row, then it's really gonna hit into that.
Well,
I don't know that I agree with that. I mean,
Christian.
obviously, their budget ain't gonna go
529.
down. And depending on salt prices and fuel prices and everything else, it could still go up. So, I mean, you have a bad year and you're just spending some of your cash.
That was
Yeah,
when you brought it
that's cash forward, there's 2 million in there.
Yeah,
So you could have 4 bad years,
yeah.
to
Well,
the internet.
so-
Did you publish that? on
and
the
that'd
website?
bring it to 0 then.
not that table, no.
Uh-oh.
You're gonna have to.
After
back out
one bad
your
year though, you'd have a
year.
real good idea how much it's gonna hit you, and it,
It's all right. It's-
Yeah, but
I don't think
historically,
we
we
had a
Show me
haven't
the difference.
seen anything like that. And
What's the cash
Yeah.
forward minus the
We just had a lot of flooding. It was December,
17?
what did we use that year?
Here?
We had the real bad
Or
ice
here?
storm.
Okay.
So.
What year was that? I'd like to go back and look at that actual year.
just that bad ice that tore down a bunch of trees and stuff.
Is that like 08, 7?
Thinking
Were you even born then?
move out of my house.
All these kids in here.
The amended or the original? I guess original.
You can, yeah, do original.
Yeah, we got done early, it's 10:30.
Well, we need to talk about a big one yet.
Do what?
What? Where's Carrie?
What we got to talk about?
Salary.
You're donating yours?
Sure.
All right.
Talk to my husband. You want the difference between those two? And my college kid.
You're paying for her college?
Well,
Well, he can't get a job?
now Jeffrey. 528, 296. How much is it this year?
522.
Right there, Chris. We're under last year.
yeah.
We cut out $5,000.
A little at a time. Didn't you say that? I think you said.
9,000, wasn't
It
it?
was 528 last year. She was going by my book. You guys like to add things after I send my book down.
Okay.
More fun that way. All right, who can I piss off today? Let's go.
Okay, so we're pretty
Run out of
much
time.
done with sales.
We're
tax,
halfway through the
capital
morning and we
improvement.
made anybody mad yet.
We're pretty much done with the EMS, sheriff,
Oh, the lights are on.
road and bridge. Are you okay with general?
Oh, my God. That's like everybody.
get together.
Come we were short $7,000 in building repairs over at law enforcement.
Building repairs, they had a lot of roofs and a lot of AC units
Oh, it's AC, and then the,
that he had to get stuff for. I mean, short of that,
Okay.
that's all I can remember.
There's son.
Stop
All
that.
right, thanks.
Well, they were talking about that one, so let me think about that.
Down now. There you go.
How do we get there?
129, where we're at right now.
And we were at 107 last year. So, are you guys comfortable with 130 this year? We were deficit spending last year at about 107,000. That one's growing
Why
a
are
little
we
bit.
deficit spending? I guess, it's my question. I
Same
don't,
thing with road and bridge. We budgeted a
Okay.
deficit, but we're gonna come in with a surplus.
okay. That just still seems weird as heck. So, okay, so is it gonna be basically explained the exact same way as road and bridge?
There's
We
just-
over budget on some stuff, if it's a bad year, then we're gonna
Well,
end up
so we do
dipping.
have departments that don't go, I mean, look at us, we don't go out and spend every single dollar in our budget. We also save money with, so like our stuff that gets taken out pre-tax from your thing, we don't pay social security on that. We don't have a way to budget that, or you have a position that's open for 2 or 3 months, so you're not paying it out. We do save money through the year on different things that we're not spending it all.
And
all the time.
countywide, yes. There's even maintenance department, that position stayed open all year.
Right. So we have to budget every position to be full and paid fully all year long. That isn't always the case.
And to the other side of that, the reason why that may balance out a little bit more, when people do leave here and they have a balance due to them, we also don't budget that. So it all works together and it works very well. We get very close on those. And that's the majority of the cost within general fund is salary issues.
And we do, like, taxes, we try to be conservative with our number. We did come over, we're gonna be $50,000 to the good in property taxes. That one's a timing issue. Do we collect the most of it in November and receive it in December, or do we collect the bulk of it in December and receive it in January?
So what's our, to pull up this budget, just 100?
Yes, it's better if
Okay.
you just put 100 in the fund.
So what's the contingency there?
There's none in here.
Where's the carry forward then, or whatever you wanna call it?
We-
Go to
we-
127,
Oh, but I think I took them out.
right? But
You did
wanna
take it
know
out?
what it was before we took it out?
Oh, so it's not in there now?
No.
It's not in this, right?
Okay.
Oh, gosh.
And it's not in the revenue either?
Right,
Right, it's not yours.
here it is, and it's not there.
And neither is the health department building, since it's a spend down of reserves, we took it out also to not consider it in
Okay.
current year expenditures.
These two are out, right?
So, 6915.
I'm sorry, now turn the lights back on.
No, I can see, I'm fine.
Can y'all see? I can see.
I just don't always look at that when I'm pulling up here because otherwise you make me head spin because I'm trying to look at it. I see the 6.9 by that time you flip to another screen. I'm pretty sure you did it on purpose.
So, basically that's,
Y'all are cahoots.
that's 1% across all expenditures that, I mean, that we don't spend. So, across all expenditures for all departments in GR, it's 1%.
Yeah, it's about 128.8, yeah. It would be hard to then say, take every line out and back 1%, though, if that's where you're going.
Well, I mean, obviously, there's always gonna be a little fluff in somebody's budget, otherwise we'd be writing transfers right and left and taking money out of our cash.
And some expenditures, like an election year, are a little bit of a guess as to what those projections are gonna be. I mean, there's lots of things we can predict. We can predict how many polling places we pay for and how many poll workers we need, but we can't predict how many ballots we think we're gonna need until we're closer to the election. So, you know, some of those line items may have a little bit of extra in it just to prepare for what we don't know.
Right.
So how much this year we're coming out that we're dipping into the
Well, we
cash
should-
reserves? We're gonna be increasing
We're gonna increase our reserves
by 318?
Well,
Depends where we come in.
Oh, 143 to 318, somewhere in there.
Yes,
so we have another payroll and another budget run, but
and potentially half a month's worth of revenue.
Okay.
Not on everything,
not
'cause-
on everything.
yeah. Because some things only come in once a month. I.e. taxes.
I'm good with the 129
I
deficit.
am too.
Well,
I don't know, there's stuff we can look at throughout the year too, and with nickel and dime everything right now, but there's stuff like newspapers, do we need them? And I know that's just small stuff, but
I think the rent thing is something definitely to look at.
yeah,
Hmm?
No, the rent that.
Oh,
the
those
recorder-
bills.
for those, that's what I asked him to, I wanna go look at that maybe in January.
we put you in charge of that, didn't we?
He did.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm working on
we
it.
expect a full report,
I'm working
January
on it.
15th.
Tell me you want a full report on parking. Sorry, Jeffrey.
You're not sorry.
No,
Don't say that. That was a good one too.
Thanks, Debbie, I appreciate it. Stand up for me, by golly.
Okay.
Shot fired right over the bow on that one.
Okay, so then, really to finish, it's just salaries.
So really, yes, right now, we've kind of looked at everything. Currently, there is a 1%
Here, son.
increase
No.
in there. Didn't really find more money if you want to do more than a 1%.
I want to, but if we don't have the money, we don't have the money.
Do you want to do the 1% differently than a percent?
I like the flat amount, but I'm not gonna fight that one, however y'all wanna do it. If y'all prefer a percentage, we can do it that way. I mean, you do have the issue of compression. That's, I don't know, I hate even talking about compression, because there's a lot of things that have contributed to that over the years. Some of us before us.
And something else to look at is our loggers amount did go up 1%. You guys are continuing to see that.
Mhm.
Health insurance did go up, but we didn't really change the rates for the employees on their dependents. I mean, there are other benefits that we've added besides the 1%.
So on the insurance, we raised the deductible a little bit, but we kept the rates the same, right?
We didn't really raise the deductible, we raised on prescriptions. Prescriptions will change for people.
Okay.
And we increased the amount coming out of each fund going into the health insurance fund, but no cost to the employee
Right.
increase.
The cost, the
Okay,
additional
I was thinking
cost
we
for
raised something on
dependents.
that. It was just the prescriptions?
We did do, emergency room.
Deductible.
We did
Okay,
increase
maybe
it.
that's what I was thinking. Believe it or not, that's a huge thing to people, is the health insurance. You go to a lot of places and they're not carrying it.
I think that's all we can afford.
You could do the 1% or you could do a flat amount, so. What did we talk about that flat amount being?
The flat amount, at the what it cost, it would be about 402. And then if you were at, what, 40,000 or below, it would mean more than if you were making 40,000 or above. A 1%, usually most times it's down in the 30s because it's a 2% or something like that.
What was the question? I'm sorry. Reading this here.
1% or a flat amount.
I would like to get more to the lower rung, but I don't know how you can do that.
And then what were you saying about the 30,000, 40,000?
It's about the cutoff mark. 1%, if you're making 40,000, is about $402. But if you take,
So anybody over 40,000 is going to receive less than 1%.
if you do a flat.
If you're under that, you're going to receive more than
Yeah.
1%.
Yes. I just want to tell you what the cutoff mark was.
Well, I was using the 450 because I think we did that one year,
Yeah.
450,
Mhm.
and I think that was around 1%.
And it is, I mean, 1% right now is
That's what you just
402.
said, so if you're at $40,000, so, yeah. So. So in essence, we'd be getting less than 1%.
Yeah, and that's fine.
I'd just seen none of the elected officials got a raise.
I'm,
But if
Sorry, Kristen.
we put in a flat
I
dollar
don't have
amount,
a
it's
problem.
considered a COLA. Or you have considered it a COLA in the past.
Yes. If you guys are telling them that it's a COLA, you're just coming up with a flat amount versus a percent, then it's a COLA. If you say in the budget documents that it's a COLA, then it's a COLA.
And, I think it is a COLA. We're not the ones saying give ourselves a raise. The salary commission is the ones that approve
Right.
that, so.
Well,
It does
I
make it a
just-
little bit more difficult to figure, especially on EMS type
It does.
positions.
And I think in the sheriff's department, you see it the most, where a percent moves them together. So they're moving up the same percent. Whereas a flat dollar, the amount difference stays the same, they just.
Percentage is gonna help your compression,
Yes,
alleviate compression,
Yeah.
because it's gonna start
yes,
spreading
it's
out.
going to spread that a little further.
And,
No, he's saying alleviate, and you're saying it will make it
It's
worse.
making the spread bigger, compression means it's getting smaller. We're saying the same thing.
yeah,
Okay.
percentage is gonna spread it out, which you're wanting to get rid of compression, right?
I didn't say nothing about compression.
Oh, now, we were just talking about the other day, and we was arguing about it. She was trying to confuse me. She just said the same
EMS
thing.
is way different than compression.
So basically, it's a little more difficult to figure at EMS because it's an hourly rate versus,
It is.
and so you just base it on the 2,080 hours and you'd have to back that 400 or whatever amount into
Well, the
that.
last time I actually did it based on the scheduled overtime too. Because that's a guarantee. That scheduled overtime was. But we can talk about doing it differently.
Why you guys be such a pain?
Because technically it is.
I
That's a
know.
guarantee to them.
I know, it's
But
not you, it's
How
the,
can you do that when, if you give them a 1%, it's basically on their hourly rate, isn't it?
Well, we figure their salary
Annual
with,
salary.
with scheduled overtime.
Yes.
So if you're figuring their 1%, it's on,
If you don't, then theirs is even higher.
But they're, okay.
Their annual salary at the end of the
I
year.
get that.
would
I know
be
what you're
even
saying.
higher.
I know what you're saying.
Okay.
But they're not an exempt employee and
Right.
their pay is based on an hourly rate,
Yes.
correct? So 1% or whatever that should go on the hourly rate shouldn't be affected at all by the overtime.
So you're okay with somebody because they have scheduled overtime and because they're guaranteed that it's okay to put that on top of that because by the end of the year, they're gonna be higher than the 1% that everybody else got. If that makes sense.
But they're working, and I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's scheduled overtime, but if if that person has 240 hours of leave and they take it all, I mean, we're not paying overtime on that.
Right, and their increase would be the same as everybody else.
Yep.
Right.
I mean, but
Well,
I just feel like
technically it
we
wouldn't, I guess.
penalize somebody if you're actually figuring either a percent raise or a dollar amount raise by including that into the overtime.
Well, I thought you just based it on their hourly rate.
It's been a long time. I do with percent, but
Yeah.
I hadn't, I'm pretty sure when we did it, but it's been 3 or 4 years ago, that we had a flat dollar.
Yeah, we haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, I got the.
Well, I was gonna say, how do
2000.
you, yeah, how do you figure that $400?
Yeah, because it's gonna add up to more.
Because it adds up to more
Yeah,
for them. If you do $400 on their hourly rate, it does end up,
I get what you're saying. It ends up more of a raise for them, but
well, it's gonna end up costing us more than 1%.
yes.
so
I mean,
I guess I'm confused. I mean, if I'm working an hourly rate, I mean, are you gonna figure my 1% on my 2,080 hours? Or how are you gonna figure that? I mean, because I guarantee you, it's gonna cost
Here, Kristen, here's the.
more for somebody working overtime because their hourly rate's going up.
Well,
Yeah.
so let me back into the $400 for somebody. Or, whichever.
I mean, to me, it should be the
Starting to
same.
plug mine in.
Wasn't working for you?
No. So let's make it $400, not 402.
Yeah, just use a round
Divided
number.
by 2080. It's 19.23 cents an hour.
A lot of them were this, on a 1%.
And so you're saying, well, the scheduled overtime's gonna get that extra bump?
So, okay, so just keep it there. So your COLA is basically saying 19, 20 cents, 22 cents, whatever, depending on their
Right.
regular pay or?
Yes, so their hourly rate there, it's 1% of their hourly rate.
Okay,
Times this. You got it going.
but,
So
so
then it
in
comes-
that scenario, they're guaranteed scheduled overtime, so they're gonna get more of a raise than 1%.
That's right.
Yes.
And that's how we've done it on percent, but, I mean, we can leave it that way, it's, but the goal is the same, it doesn't matter, we already did something different here, so, sheriff, so. Because how do you get to the 40,000? Because,
Well, that's the part that's not making sense, because
Yeah.
their cutoff isn't at 40,000.
'cause if you don't go to the annual salary and include the schedule, and then put it on top of that, and then back into what that,
But it doesn't matter if
Pennies
you do
off.
it as a percent or a flat dollar, either way, they're ending up with more.
yeah. And that's why it's,
Do you have any thoughts one way or the other, 1% or flat dollar amount?
but if you go on those,
It, I
A
mean,
percent
it's,
is easier on us.
I'm sorry?
A percent is
Yeah.
easier on us.
I'm fine with doing 1%.
Yeah,
Okay,
I just, that's why I like the flat dollar was because I do, but then it also causes, and I know compression's a big deal to, you know, other people. It's not as much to me. I think there's
Well,
other
and-
reasons that have caused that.
and a COLA is a COLA. The cost of bread costs you the same amount as it does somebody else, so that's my point of the flat amount. You know, because,
That depends. You get to have Wonder Bread. I'm having Always Safe bread.
okay, your utilities are the same price.
and always say baloney.
Your utilities are the same price.
You don't like bologna? Oh, man, that's making me hungry right now. Fry some
Do you like-
bologna.
do you like
Yeah,
Spam?
Cheese on it? No, I never have been able to get into Spam.
I like Spam.
I have, we used to fry it.
You fry that
I
hard?
don't either.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Barbecue too.
Lips and
Okay,
buttholes.
Jeff,
That's the same thing as bologna.
Jeff, stop.
Put it in a compressed meat ball or whatever.
Stop it.
Oh, man, hot dogs.
And when are you bringing jerky?
Christian.
Oh, well, I told Dylan to make some when he gets back home tomorrow.
Okay,
Okay, 1%.
yeah.
All right, what else?
That's it. We'll get these all totaled up. You guys can go out there and look. Give us a little time. We're gonna update these salaries because we've had quite a few people come and gone since this started, so. And of course, carry forwards.
It
And,
won't be till the end of the year.
right. And there'll be more than carry forward. There'll be a lot of grants and a lot of projects and a lot of POs that are open that's going to,
Move things around a little.
yeah. Hopefully we'll still be around the same 120, you know, 130 mark.
Most of the time with the grants, it's gonna change both sides,
Mhm.
depending on where the revenue and expense ended at the end of the year.
Right.
We do have a few carry forwards, such as like with Medicaid and the health department, with that money's restricted, so wherever their revenue came in for the year, we have to carry that forward for the next year. Bill Farr has a couple, accounts that are the same way, LEPC money. So we'll adjust all of those,
Okay.
what they are at the end of the year, and make sure they carry forward the correct amount.
Okay.
Hopefully, we've gotten close with our projection and it's not gonna change a lot. Hopefully, some of them will go down, which could help us. Where did we end with the 47.5 to the chamber?
There's a PO out there, and I did get the signed contract, but Jill had sent an email to the chamber, to Randy.
Oh, I do want
I think she included
$1,000
you guys in
for Taste of Jeff City. Yeah, next year,
Yeah, they wait for that.
yeah.
So that's one PO that's out there in general.
And I'm assuming it says that not until the study is completed and we have the study of what they were doing, do we owe payment. So
Okay,
I don't know.
So
I don't know where
Um,
that is.
that's in there right now, though. Didn't we add
There
it
is a
in?
PO, and yes.
I know, but we added it in.
Yes.
So in that 129 is that 47 that you were going to spend this year, but pushed to next year.
229?
What?
What, 200 and some odd thousand?
Probably all together, maybe. Let's see. And
Economic
economic.
development?
Yeah, or that
The,
was in one category, wasn't it?
right.
It was on
It was
one.
almost, yeah, I don't know where. I don't know
Should be
where-
more than,
Should be
should
more
be
than
the
120.
150 to the
Yeah, 'cause
chamber,
it's
that
150.
47.5.
Yeah, it's in.
5 for
It should be
SLU.
25 for other things, and then the 5,000 that goes.
All right, you talking about chamber yet?
Yeah, we need to talk about this here.
So that 47's in there.
Okay.
What number are we looking at here?
It's in 100, it's in 127, 22 something.
So we'll look up department,
Yeah, it's up 127.
127, doink. That it?
Yep.
Doink,
Miscellaneous.
doink.
What
Like-
about that? Carrie was one.
They're not leaving here.
I won't leave these here, they taste too good.
Did you try them?
Anything else there?
Shortbread.
Well, what do we got in miscellaneous?
What were we gonna do at the 5?
They're little shortbread things.
That mobile tool.
Oh,
I got a picture
oh.
of those on my desk if you want.
We talked
I mean, we
about that
don't
a long
have
time
to,
ago.
you guys are gonna sign contracts on this stuff, so, you know, you can talk about it later or whatever, just
So you
placeholder right
got
now.
miscellaneous in there for 25,000.
Yeah,
Yes.
so that could,
Again,
Is
even,
that-
you would have to
Okay,
have
but-
contracts on all these, so
So I
just because they're in
click on the
there.
177.5. There it is. No.
127, and then the account number is 52224, and then you just click on that account number.
Oh, on the account number. The paperclip?
Nope, come back over one. I don't know if you can click on
A
the
long
paper.
series of numbers.
Got it.
Yes,
So
That's
is
the
it-
request.
Is that all that's in there, or
yes.
just has some history of some of those that we did?
Yes.
Those are the one, yeah,
That
the
was
ones we
like
paid out
last
this year.
Yeah, sorry.
So the
Get my ears
97 was the 50 to the airport, and then the
Oh, yeah.
47.5 to the chamber.
Yeah.
Chambers of Commerce.
I see. So we already paid the 97, all right, last year.
Yes.
No, the 47.5 we haven't paid out yet. I
No.
had it in there as projected, because I didn't know whether
I
you're
thought-
gonna pay it at the end of the year or not.
I thought he said the 97.
I know, the
That part of that
97 was
is-
the 50 and the 47.
Yeah.
Here's
That
what we
was
paid out.
That was in 17s.
Those two agreements were signed in 17, one got paid, one didn't,
Right.
yes.
Here's what we've paid in 17.
You go back to the other list though,
Sure.
because there was. So in 2017 projected under miscellaneous airport, Debbie had that.
Yes.
97.5 was the 50 for the airport and the 47.6 for the,
Right,
for
so
the
she
cost
should,
share,
she,
but now she's got that one separated.
yeah, you should have done.
But now we
Well,
have,
tell me to put it in there.
Just leave that miscellaneous.
I want
Know what
to,
it is.
you know what it is? You want me to spell it out?
Well, you're spelling out the projected amount, which we're not actually going to spend, so. But that doesn't match up to the 25 for next year, you know, because
yeah, I
it's
just leave it
miscellaneous.
miscellaneous. yeah.
Change
So
that to add
we
it.
got 25,000 in there for miscellaneous.
Yes.
Okay.
That's kind of where we started 17, but we had, both of those other agreements came in during the year and
Right.
which keep that deficit in mind when you're signing those agreements in the middle of the year.
Hopefully maybe we can some back.
When is the time frame for that? Like
That was
they
just the
have
first
to-
year, wasn't it?
For what?
The airport thing? Was it
That was just for the first year, and right now, they're far exceeding, I mean, it was just the flight to Denver.
So we're gonna make some money on that deal?
We'll get it back. I don't know.
Are they talking about adding additional
Yeah, we
flights?
gotta make.
But they said they've got that money, so we, originally, that Greg Steinhoff or whatever came, he and they were like 8 million short. And, we don't have anything we can really, and then when that's, Stacy, that was Stacy.
Buttons.
Yeah, so they had all the money they need. Now they're looking at a piece on the news last night where they might instead of, originally they were gonna build a whole new terminal some distance away from the old terminal. Now they're looking at using the existing terminal and adding to it, and it's gonna save them significant money.
So they're gonna be coming asking for money for that?
No, that's all part of it. That's,
They passed a tax for that.
yeah, they did a hotel,
Lodging.
but lodging tax, but I wanna say was it 28 million or more than that? They wanted, but no, they've got the money. They're, so,
So most likely we'll get our 50 back.
oh yeah, we will get it back, cause it's, you know, Mike Keough said, you know, he goes out to Colorado a lot.
Let's talk about something different. I don't
He
like
can't
talking
even-
about this. That
he
pisses me
can't
off.
get on
Is
the
there
plane.
anything else you
I'm
guys want?
gonna start a business next year. I want y'all to subsidize it too in case I don't make any money and I can fall back on that.
Depends on what kind of
Economic.
business I might invest in it.
Oh, it's not an investment. You're just gonna give me money. If my profits aren't what they need to be, then I can just use your money. That's just what we did, just subsidize it. Awesome, talk about something different. Better move on.
You got anything
What else we got?
Anything else you wanna talk about? I think we're done.
Thought there was something. All right.
I know,
I'll think about it later.
I'm brain
I
dead.
did have a, so, I mean, you guys don't have to stay for this, but I did want to try to figure out where you're taking that $1 million out of,
Sales tax or?
emergency services. We're transferring $1 million in.
We
for
have
that
it.
operation.
We haven't recessed yet.
It's the transfer fund and 650.
Right, but I mean, there's
you
something
cold this
grouped
morning?
together.
Yeah, so go in,
Are you?
Debbie.
Did you turn it up? Well, she sent me a text. I was fine, so.
How,
650 transfer fund.
Karen,
why does this
I can
thermostat
call you back,
control?
sorry.
It's weird.
I turned it up to a little bit, so you can keep an eye on
No,
it.
I didn't touch it today.
No, I
Is it
did.
on?
I wasn't cold. I was fine. I just leave it alone unless somebody says they're cold in here.
Yeah.
And then Karen sent the text. that
You
just
wanna
saw
look in the
something
The
freezing.
transfer fund at the bottom. So it's the 60% that goes to general, is the 370. The $1 million to the enterprise fund.
Okay,
Then we have the admin fee that tax pays to general.
okay,
And then we've now added that Shepherd's building lease, because it'll be considered a transfer.
okay. And so that equals the what?
4854.
Okay.
4,894.
So then you see the 3765 or what are coming into general.
So you'll see it in 113, so the collector, because we rolled back the taxes, it offsets the taxes that used to be in his department.
Mhm.
So you see a transfer in his
Okay.
for that 37. You see a transfer in the 660 for the $1 million.
Okay,
You see the 75 and 127 admin fee,
as a transfer in.
yes.
Okay,
And then the 54 will go into the transfer in 127 now too.
those be combined in 127 then, or?
Probably not. There'll be a transfer in line and there'll be an admin fee, because we like to track that admin fee so you can see what it's been. 'Cause it's
Transfer.
multiple departments that they add.
Okay, so the transfer in won't be just the Shepherd's building lease.
So the other transfer in you see in 127 is, the loan repayment from Eugene Water. And you see
It's okay.
the rent paid
Yeah, we
by,
gave them $100,000 and they're paying it back 6,000 at a time and they're losing 20 grand a year.
Jeez.
It
26
works. That's what I was told.
26 grand a year.
Yeah.
26 grand a year.
what I was
Numbers
told.
like that I
Well, yeah,
remember.
but see, they're losing 26 grand a year, but they're paying us back 6,000 of it for the $100,000
Yeah,
loan.
God.
So 127 transfer in right now is 60,000 from EMS Enterprise for rent and the loan repayment. You'll also see, so
I put it somewhere else. Where'd I put
it's
it?
in miscellaneous right now because it was an inter fund and now it's gonna be other funds.
So
So
that'll
that
go
54 will
into-
move, yeah.
okay.
We'll move it right now, actually.
I just keep hitting the capital letter.
So it's
54.
54.
Yeah.
And then go to miscellaneous and take that 54 out. Right there,
Is it there?
46761.
What's that room?
We were.
You said that room?
Yeah, do we need to look at those rates? How did we
Jeff was
come
gonna
up
kind of
with-
help me with that square
with those
footage
dollar amounts?
of that building, and I came up with
Oh.
it with square footage, and what the assessor told me was
I
the
was gonna say
going
that,
rate
though.
for buildings of that nature. I mean, it's not like an office building, you know. It gave me a rate per square foot, but I figured maybe,
You got
that's been when we took over.
the combined rate, because you're gonna probably get one rate for warehouse, you're gonna get one rate for office, and then same way for the EMS, you're gonna get a rate for warehouse area for where they park their ambulances, and then you're gonna get a rate for office or something else.
Yeah, and I didn't really,
Yeah,
it was all
combined rate.
warehouse on Bill's side, because the majority of it was warehouse. But
And
So,
he uses that office and that conference room
Yeah.
and all that other stuff too, so.
he
And
does.
that's on, he's the only one that uses it really.
I don't know. I thought EMS went over there and did all their interviews and stuff, and their training they do over there. It's still a training room, that big room is.
I'd say just call it good.
So what was that other stuff you were talking about, that revenue transfer in?
transfer in there, was
Yeah, but I thought we were talking about another one.
I? No,
Oh,
we
in
were-
113.
We were, yeah, we were just tracing back where they, and the admin fees there, so you see that.
Yeah.
Click on admin fee, so you see the admin fee coming from Enterprise Fund, Public Works, EMS. The only one you don't see in there is law enforcement, because we take it off of what we pay them instead of paying it all and
Okay.
then transferring it back.
Okay. Yeah, I figured that out. It was all the transfers and see a transfer for this amount here and then it's like, well, where to go?
That's nice about the notes, but
Uh-huh.
it's hard for somebody that doesn't see the
Right,
notes.
Right.
And it, yeah. You can see the notes when you get into GL too, so it's really kind of nice for the end user to know where to put stuff anymore. We didn't have this before.
No.
That would BSNA. I had to keep like a little spreadsheet.
Okay. That's all I really wanted, guys. Kind of went through that.
You guys have anything else you want to talk about before we go out of session or whatever?
No.
No.
I mean, unless we want to talk about nitpicking things. I think, like I said, the newspaper is about the only thing I was picking on there for the bit, so.
So obviously, budget's complete. We're just waiting on putting notice in the paper of,
Right, so other than those cash forward
right.
adjustments and carry forward for those individual things we kind of talked about, yes, the budget is considered pretty much done at this point. You do need to decide, normally if we do a merit, we require everybody to give us evaluations. That probably is a good policy to keep in place even though we're not giving merit. And do you want to put a deadline on when those are due to you?
Or I can send you a letter that, it's a letter stating all that information and give it to you guys and let you look at it, you know, basically like that, stating the time. And I'd like to look at the payroll dates to make sure we can, because we have a lot of things in payroll to change this time with the rates changing on almost everything.
And that first change of the 1% will not happen until the first full pay period in
Yes.
January.
Which is technically the second check.
Right.
So, yeah, did you guys talk about the rest of the calendar stuff?
No, he was just talking about if we were done after today. we could kind of-
Want to send a letter out.
Yeah.
Can't make a little
We got one Tuesday and then
No,
we'll probably have
but, I
another.
mean, we're gonna do them too for our staff. I think it's just good, even if it is the exercise you go through to say, hey, you're doing what you're required to do, keep it up, or here's what you could work on, and so you got record of it. So, I think, yeah, might as well do that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So can we get an email drafted or something to
Yes.
send that out? Good.
Yeah, because the ad for the paper will be on the 22nd. I'll have to put an ad in the paper with a 5-day notice of the public hearing about the budget, being budget hearing, and that budget hearing is on January 9th, scheduled. And so basically, other than getting that ad in the paper, public notice, they have budgets available for the public for 10 days. The notice has to go for 5, the budget's available for 10 to the public. And then then you guys will approve it on the 9th. But I will get out that letter.
The final budget,
Yes.
when will you be able to figure carry forward?
Not till-
12/31.
Yeah.
So how are you gonna get 10 days to view the public if it's?
Well, if
Budget
they
hearing's on the
can do
9th.
it at any time, it may change. It could change up until the public hearing. It can change at the public hearing. So,
Okay.
I mean, that's
I
just
guess
how
I
it
was
goes.
just confused. I thought the final budget had to be available for public viewing for 10 days.
Just the budget has to be available.
So it's available now.
Yeah. Well, once I get the ad in the paper, it has to be
But I
available.
mean, this is available now and this.
Yes, that's public right now.
Right, but I mean, that's considered budget's available for 10 days.
What I'm gonna have available by the 22nd.
I realize it's
is
gonna
any
be
changes.
modified.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
It's gonna be modified, but
So big.
We would hope by the first or second,
Yeah.
we're gonna have a real good idea of where everything should be. We should have cash into the day, the 31st, maybe the 1st, depending on the treasurer and getting the money to the bank. We will be working on those carry forwards and those other funds after the last budget run, which is paid next Tuesday. That'll be the last bill run, so we'll start working on that at that point. Again, watching for any additional revenue through the end of the year, but
And it says to come here if you want a copy of the budget, and if somebody does, my practice has been Melody, come back and let me know. Then I explain to them that the carry forwards may change in all of these funds. But it's available if you want to
Okay.
take what we have now.
that was my question.
Yes.
What is available now is construed as the budget for the 10-day period.
That's right.
Okay.
What we have right here.
And it may change.
Yes,
Yes.
and I definitely include them in on that because it
Okay.
will, by carry forwards.
Good enough.
Okay.
Good.
All right.
Anything else?
Nope.
Motion
Still
to-
good.
Motion to stand in recess till 4:30.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Adios. Early.
We good, Lynn? Mm-hmm. Okay, this is the bid opening for bid number 2017-43 for the structural repair and re-roofing of the salt storage dome at Public Works. The first bid is from Meg Alley Construction Company. So, I'm pretty sure, Lynn, I'm gonna give. Okay. The second bid is from Dome Corporation of North America. Okay. And you guys feel free to look over these, but they'll be taken under advisement.